Right, we're bringing this week's flight sim news with thanks to SayIntentions. We preview the upcoming BlackSquare Caravan Professional, the A340-600 by Aerosoft and ToLiss, a 152 Ducky Edition by Wombii, Mount McKinnon by Orbx, and OnAir Activities. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week, the halftime show, the Midweek Shuffle. Welcome to the news, and lots of news this evening. It's a busy one. We have all the updates this week making its way across our beloved hobby, that is flight simulation, and also we get to check out some stuff. Tonight we do have a preview build of the upcoming BlackSquare Caravan. I nearly said Caravan Professional. We're going to be looking at that. We also have the A340-600, a joint venture by Aerosoft and ToLiss to have a look at and see what it's all about. Then we have something mad. We have a modification to a Cessna 152. It is that of the Ducky Edition from our very own Wombii. We're going to be checking that one out also. Then we go to McKinnon. We're going to be checking out a new airport brought to us by Orbx, and we'll be looking at how to create our own tour inside of OnAir. So it's quite busy. It's going to be flat out, and now we have it. Hope you're all keeping well. Hope you had a great day. I was flat out today. Technology escaped me for most of today. It's also my dad's 76th birthday. 76 trombones. Got him a bottle of Bushmills, another paraphernalia. So it's been all go here in Murph Manor, where it's currently 8 degrees, and they're giving snow. Jesus, they're giving snow for Friday, I think. Do you know? But you're all very welcome aboard. Great to see you, and well, I hope you had a great day. We're at that stage in the year with Microsoft Flight Sim and indeed X-Plane. Prior to the events, we're starting to get kind of snapshots. We're starting to see releases, and it's kind of shaping how the year is starting to look, right? And what I mean by that is when you start seeing kind of, high fidelity add-ons coming out, but also when you mix that, you start seeing some fun add-ons. Well, it's telling us one thing, that the simulators, despite all the hardships we've had, over the years, they're finally getting to a stage they're becoming just stable, and now we can kind of expand on the hobby. So, yes, it's all happening now. Brilliant, right? Absolutely brilliant. I didn't do anything too stupid today. Well, I did two things, right? I have a new powered USB hub gone in behind my telly. And when I plugged it in and I plugged gadgets into it, whenever I hit off them earlier on, I was getting an instant static, right? Can't have that in this setup. So it was either too much power or it needed more grounding, or as we like to say, earthing. So I did what anyone would do. I put blue tack around it. Yeah, this gadget. Well, it's kind of white, but blue tack, right? It solved it. Sometimes my genius even makes cats feel unworthy to humans, right? That's the level of genius now. But anyway, we'll get to it. I'm also thinking of poor old Super Typhon today. He was in the dentist and he was getting all sorts of work done, so we'll have to catch up with Super Ty now in a moment. But well, let's jump into it, shall we? As we start this on Wednesday, the weeks are creeping up on us. Creeping up. Just wouldn't mind an old crep. Not a crap. Crep. Crepes are nice, So, do you know what came in the mail for me as well? I ordered wolf milk, it's called. It's coffee. There's a guy I watch on YouTube, as we all watch guys and people and things, and it's called Wild Homestead. Now, let's just put a bit of context to this. So, what James does on the Wild Homestead channel, he left the big city grid to start, he left the big city to start life off the grid in Canada, right? Out in the wilderness, bought himself 40 acres, and he's building everything himself. Log cabins, sheds, all this sort of stuff, right? So he's been at it now almost 3 years. And I'll watch his channel because he's very good. He's just, you know what I mean? James is on there now, he'll belt away in the corner, right? And it gives you kind of this false sense of security that perhaps you can dabble in some DIY tasks around your house. It usually involves you buying power drills and then, breaking them. But that's not important. What is important, he has a coffee and it's called Wolf's Milk. And I said, I need to try this. So I got it. And it smells like coffee, right? And then I realised, sure, you don't have a grinder, you big idiot. So I went out and I got a little grinder gadget, right? And I made my coffee. And you put in a drop. You can be a little bit, with maple syrup. And, well, I mean, the gods, the old and the new, approve of this drink. It's very, very nice. But that's what I did in between all my stuff today. I says, right, I'm going off here now to make myself a cup of coffee. Jesus, then it was lovely. Absolutely lovely. So I didn't break anything today, apart from the electricity I was getting, and then I made coffee. I've been messing with some VR stuff. I've a new Pimax headset to figure out and do the comparison. Because, when you see like the adverts from Pimax, I have the Crystal Light, and I was looking at the Crystal Super. I was like, oh, hang on, wider field of view, better, this we need to watch. So I have it. So I'm still kind of setting things up and seeing where we go with that. Then I've loads of videos to make because the time is flying. I'm away in 2 weeks. This day, 2 weeks, this exact time, I'll be somewhere over the United States. Going, Janie, we're going to be landing soon, right? And on news on that front as well leads us in nicely to the BAR event, or a community meetup over in New Zealand, which is going to happen on April 4th down at Wanaka. Warbirds over Wanaka is taking place, and the Crosswinds Cafe shall be our little den of iniquity. We meet up for a brew or a beer, talk planes and things about aviation and flight simulation. So that's on Saturday, the 4th of April, between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock local time in New Zealand. So, yeah, if anyone's interested, I'll be there. It's free to get into the cafe, and the advantage would be, well, you get to see an air show, including an F-22. Ooh, they've all sorts of cool stuff going to this. So, that's that. And then, as Adam quite rightfully said, this day next week, plus 2 days, we'll be in the Netherlands, because FSWeekend is right around the corner. I've literally this weekend got all my stuff done. Next weekend I'm away, and I'm only home from FSWeekend. I'm back for 2 days, and then I'm away again. So it's all flat out, lads. Absolutely bananas. But brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, who's here? Look, we'll get started because we've so much to do tonight, and right, it's not like me to drag on any sort of an introduction or keep yapping. I'm very fast with these things, as you well know. Norse Viking, good to see you. CP is here. Vacuum, good evening. Commander Balosh, welcome in. Kev is here. Photos by Kev, welcome aboard. Super Ty, good to see you, buddy. How was the dentist? Mac Vision, welcome in. Toto, 24.95. A very good evening to you and the missus. Hope you're keeping well. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. And Wolfie, welcome aboard, buddy. Who else is here? The Boise, good evening. The Impossible Face, merry news, taking an 836 Bonanza for an afternoon amble over the Burbank, California from San Francisco. Sounds lovely. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, happy Wednesday. Strap21 is here. Hola. APU Inspector, welcome in. We are that to the halfway point before the weekend. Absolutely. Mrs. TPHI, who has endeavoured to stay upside down.
Hello there.
Indefinitely. A very good evening to you. Hope you're well, Mrs. North Coast Mike is here. Idle Cutoff, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. Eamon, one day Murph will make the news in his own right. Right. Digital Mark is here. Good to see you, Mark. Malky, thank you very much indeed. 50 in a row, buddy. Cheers, man. Anthony V, good to see you, buddy. Hermit something. Very good afternoon to Boston. Hope you're well. Nightsep is here for 63 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Yous are all running away with yourselves here now, lads, on Discord, putting up AI generated images of me. Someone asked AI, draw me a picture of Murph. That was Mr. Dan. And then Nightsep came in with did you see it? I'll show you now in a minute. It's shocking. It's shocking. And then Adam, of course, made Where's Waldo, but it's Where's Murphy. It's very strange looking. And then Commander Balosh did one. Waldo McMurphy. Why? Oh, wait, where are the tools? Wait, are they in the towel again? I'll show you now in a second. Great bunch of lads. Yeah, great bunch of lads. But anyway, Willow, how much? Good to see you, buddy. Kev said, and failed the hand scanner being used for ID. His hands are too small. Shag off. Creo is here. Hello to County Mayo. Hope you're well. 98 Vulcan, welcome aboard. My rig is up and running again with a new and bigger radiator, and it's running cool. I have more fans than the Japanese house, and I'm now impressed by the graphics and physics in F1. Ooh, nice one. 98 Vulcan, great news. Yeah, we had a bit of crack last night with the F1. Yeah, I died many times, but it was good crack. Mech Manser, good evening. Alberto is here. David Bay, very good evening to you. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Viper Strike, good to see you. Doing a ferry flight, good man yourself. Muse fan bursts in the door. He says, how he is his mad jokes. He's good to see you, Muse. Happy Wednesday, buddy. Sun Jammer is here. Looks like it's big spending time after this for Murph. Yes, protect the wallets. Tonight will be dangerous indeed. Flying Tonight is here. Waldo, right? Good evening. Chuck is in the house, good evening. Nutty Snack, how are you? Bellbro is here. All right, man. Welcome in. Just Roy, good evening to you. Roy, hope you're having a very good day. Roy, was it your birthday yesterday? Eddie's in the house, good evening, and thank you very much indeed for 7 months. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much indeed. Lads, really, really appreciate all the support. You're so terribly generous. And I thank you. You're absolute legends. Now, let me see. Kira, good evening. Old Veteran 965 says, howdy all. Happy News Day. We are going to get some learning in. Yes, that is what we shall try. UTB, a very good evening to you. Cessna Caravan invented by the Irish. Old Cessna Caravan, hi. Right. Is that a tool mod? No, Tarnish. How are you, Tarnish? Right, Lear, good to see you. Now, Magnificent Potato, a very good evening to you. Adam Controls, hope you're well. Kanzooi's in the house. Happiest of hump days. Hello. Welcome in. Did plumbing also escape you today? So, the sealant is still drying. But the good news is the shower hasn't leaked. I haven't turned on the shower, but it is connected to the mains and there was no droplets of the Bijani. So at the moment, I'm feeling confident that all will be well in the realm. But yes, the young fella got locked outside this morning at about 7:05. He went in next door for a shower. The door was locked. Standing outside with a towel. Ah, Jesus. The things we do. I may have locked the door. Now, let me see. Where's this now? Cracker, a very good evening. At least he didn't get tooth surgery. I know, Super Ty. How did it go for you? Goblin Zeus, good evening. The forgetful Larry is in the chat. Good to see you, Larry. Larry, congratulations on all the steppage you completed yesterday. Larry was out walking a marathon. Do you know? Derek is here. Good evening. Isn't it fun? We hate burglaries, but are more than happy having a bearded old fellow coming in via the chimney, delivering to the kids. Yes. Well, then he's not taking stuff away, you see, you know. Now, Belbro, Amini, right? Where's this now? Black tack is the go-to gloop for sticking stuff. Black tack as opposed to blue tack. But anyway, we're over here now. Look, yesterday it was my birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all get a massive happy birthday to Just Roy? He's there in the chat. I saw a comment earlier. I was like, right now, was it Roy's birthday yesterday? Jesus, there's buttons. Roy, happy birthday, and I hope you had a great day. It's a belated birthday, but let us all celebrate in the birthday wishes to Just Roy. And well, congratulations, another year older, another year wiser. Brilliant. Now let me see. Jay, who? Nutty, who? Right, now we're catching up. Grand is here. It is Grand. Good to see you. The next time we're in this time next week we're in Amsterdam. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Light Bison, good evening. Where are we going to do? What the hell are we going to do when you're away? You'll have peace and quiet, Kev. Do you know what I mean? Black Void is here, good evening. The Limbics, you're very welcome aboard. Lurkin, hope you're well. Rob MCR, good evening. Thank you very much indeed for 61 months. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. Cy120, good evening. The builder is coming in tomorrow to discuss the new man cave conversion. Best you stay seated, Kev, because I imagine the quotation will be shocking. Phoenix Flights, welcome aboard. I do need to monitor for excessive bleeding and swelling and nausea. Jesus, super tie. I'm lightheaded so far. Wasn't it, Janie? You poor old devil, you. How many deaths did you cause at your driving? None. I was very safe on the roads. You know, well, 3. Actually, now that I think of it, 3, Scott. 2 AI and 1 Mr. Hoppy. But it was grand, you know. It's simulated horror. Yes, simulated horror. FIA say stand by for a number to call. Rad Baron, right? Martin K, a very good evening. Petrolhead is here. Who else come in the door? Look, Nick is here. Zybok Duck calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Good to see you, buddy. Stick Figure, welcome aboard. Now let me see. Martin Kerry Aviation, a tier 2 sub for 42 months. Thank you very much indeed, Martin. And lads, do be sure to check out Martin's Instagram. Some beautiful photos there of aviation stuff in Kerry and other places. You're very kind. Larry says, yeah, I went around the whole of Howth Peninsula. Jesus, you walked around Howth. Was there a reason, or you just wanted to go for a walk? That's a good old walk. Uncle Nicky, thank you very much indeed for a Prime subscription. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. Let me see now. Blue is weak, white is okay. Sticky gloop, you say? That's mad. Thanks for the race, says Zybok. Loads of fun, wasn't it? It was brilliant. Now, let me see. Janie now, work able meet. Hello, good to see you. Roy says, thanks to you all, just 5 years from 60. What? Jesus. Bellbro got booted for 5 seconds. What did you put in the chat, Bellbro, you poor old divin you? The race yesterday made me think of Spa. Oh, look, you put in a link and like the bot was like, you can't do that. Stupid bot. Bellbro, sorry about that. Right, anyway. Let's go over here and we say a quick hello, and then we're going to get ourselves started, lads. Black Sheep Gene, and just like that, my bank account started crying. Yes, good to see you, Gene. Dave Cleary, legend, Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Happy Wednesday. Cy Voltage is here. Good evening. Thrust Set Simulations is in the house. Hope you're well. There's buttons. That was very loud. SoCal Jerry, good evening. Kieran Nile is here. Jake Mitchell, welcome in. RC Cosplay, welcome in. A Drink for Vikings was based on the Romans, but yes, very good. Northland Air, happy Wednesday. Now, let me see. Flyboy Dyer is here. Watched your toolkit video last night. Great stuff. Lots of solid advice. Well, thank you very much indeed. See, lads, that's how you give a compliment without taking the absolute piddle. Right? What did everyone else do? They called me a tool. Right, moving on abruptly. Morgan, good evening. Monty is here. Alexander, welcome aboard. Hello from London. Well, hello from Tipperary. Good to see you. Gulfstream Pilot is here. He says, first time seeing you live. Excited for the caravan. I'm a corporate on a Global 7500. Very nice. Very nice. You're very welcome in. I used to be on a Gulf, but they got absorbed. Oh, Jesus. Well, sure, listen, it's great to have you. Steve Stavros, welcome in. Neil is in the house. Good evening. Who else come in? Roll Tide is here. J.O., welcome in, J.O. Dennis C., good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Good to see you, buddy. You're very welcome aboard. And then back over on this screen on Twitch, Photos by Kev went absolutely bananas. Did you see what he did? 10 gifted Tier 1 subs to our viewers here on Twitch. Kev, thank you very much. Lads, if you got a Tier 1 sub, with thanks to Photos by Kev, do be sure to say thank you. The man is a terribly nice legend. Right, Tima, thank you very much indeed. 19 months. Jesus, lads, the amount of subs tonight. Bananas. Tima, thank you very, very much indeed, buddy. One Foxy Bingo Gav.
Oh, Jesus.
AJH, man, hope you're well. Heisenberg is here, good evening. Murph, do you use FSLTL for model matching? Any reason why we wouldn't use it to help stabilise model matching in the sim? The sim will not generate FSLTL models natively. Now, I did do some experimenting. However, the problem with the sim, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 has an extensive model library. Extensive, right? Pretty much every airplane is in there. Not all deliveries, but at least almost every type of airplane is in there. Hundreds of them, right? The problem is the lookup table that we just can't access. When the sim says, here's an aircraft or here's an object, right? What is it? It's an aircraft, okay? What type of aircraft is it? Hello? Hello? We lost the connection. Let's just put in any old aircraft. Okay, then it sees another airplane. Oh, look, here's an object. What is it? It's an aircraft. Okay, what type of aircraft? Hello? Hello? Yeah, we'll just put in something. Then, and this goes on, right? So the lookup table or whatever technical term that they've built into the thing, it's totally shagged. As in, it's just like, I'm not playing anymore. I have things to do, right? But in terms of models, there's already a vast collection of models there. The advantage, of course, now, if you look at the likes of an FSLTL or AIG or, Just Flight's traffic, the models off of those, yes, you can integrate them with your sim, but you would need a third-party model matching solution in order to call them up. So the likes of, say, Intentions with Skynet, or indeed if you're using VATSIM, or if you're using other traffic injectors, they can just get a better whatever it's called to make it work, right? There's green box. There's buttons going on over here, look. Right, so that's the idea behind it. But it is a good question, but it won't fix your model matching, unfortunately. But a good question. We call them as we see them, indeed. YOLO, good to see you, buddy. Who else come in the door now, lads? Martel, good evening. I was in Chester today, looking at the Roman wall. The Romans. Pretty good, Tarnish. Where are you flying today? Would you believe it? Very little flying today. Purely the news. We catch up. We try and have this central area where we can catch up on all the news, updates, new aircraft, new sceneries, and we put them all into a dedicated live stream where I talk like a Muppet. And people say, would he ever just shut up and get on with it? Right, that's how this works. But right, now, buttons over here, look, 20 in a row, thank you, Gav. Cheers, buddy. Send the checks in the post, right? Murph, might want to check in on your flights in New Zealand. Big news here about mass flight cancellations. I think we're okay on our side. Well, I hope we're okay on our side. We're going stateside, Limbics. Jesus, now don't be worrying me. I haven't heard anything back from Air New Zealand, so at the moment I think we're all tickety-boo. But usually if you want to fly to New Zealand from kind of Europe, it's usually through the Middle East. But we booked originally, it was all through the US. So, we should be grand. Now, let me see. Uncle Nicky's here. Murph, I'm obsessed with OnAir, and I can't wait for the part in your broadcast to talk about and what not. I'm currently doing my longest flight, Ontario, Canada to Florida. Ooh, nice, buddy, nice. Yeah, we'll be checking out OnAir a little bit later on. Now, Gold Member, did we get a good caravan? Yes, we'll be checking it out very soon, Gold Member. Zith is here, good to see you. When Murph takes out the green box, it's like the teacher rolled the TV into the classroom as a kid, right? Belbro says, what I wanted to say before getting banned for posting a link, the race yesterday made me think about the Spa 1998 crash. Oh yes, I saw that. Very much so, with all the crashing. Indeed. Jojo1 is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Right. Gibbo, is that water dripping? Shag off? Shag right off. It's all grand. Well, there's no dripping today, mind you, but I'll have to check it out in the morning. But good to see you, man. We're off for drinking pints in a few days. It's going to be great. Right, where's this now? Did I catch up? What specific topics regarding OnAir will we be covering? Tonight, we're looking at the activities, tours. We can create our own. And OnAir recently brought out an update whereby you don't have to position your own aircraft to a starting location. You can actually just hire or lease an aircraft, which just means access to all these activities Way better. You know, Mac Vision, thank you very much indeed for 19 months. Lads, the subs tonight are off the friggin' wall. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. Dazza T-Arab has rambled into the chat. A very good evening to Dazza and all the Dazzas. Good evening. Hope you're well, buddy. Right, will we get started now? We'll do one of these and that. Did you hear the sounds there? Did you? Riot. Oh, Jesus. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the upcoming BlackSquare Simulations Caravan Professional. Now, we're going to be having a quick look at this, as I said, in a few moments. We need to get through the news first, right? But just know this. The fact that we do have a model built and it's there in the sim, right? There's things coming up on my screen. I need to check that. This is a very good sign to let us know what the aircraft is on a short final. Right, so we will be checking out this machine. Do note, it is pre-release. If there's any kind of oddness or weirdness, it's pre-release, right? Bit of sound there. So we'll be checking that one out now here in just a few moments. Now, there's things happening at an alarming rate. Jesus. Let me see. Pop-Tart the Brave has sent 10 gift memberships over on YouTube. 10 gifted memberships over on YouTube by Pop-Tart the Brave. Thank you very, very much indeed. And lads, on YouTube, if you just got a gifted membership from Pop-Tart, do be sure to say thank you. The man is a legend. And then Black Sheep Jean said, hang on a second, he gifted also 10 memberships over on YouTube. That is insane. Thank you very, very much indeed to Nick and to Pop-Tart. Brilliant. Gene, you're a legend. And did I say Nick? Gene, you're a legend. And Pop-Tart, you're a legend. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you got a membership, do be sure to say thank you. P.S. Mirandai, hello there. Conti, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Captain Beanie, welcome in. Have we heard any more yet on their F70? Not just yet. I think I found the issue I was having. Oh, Malky, do let us know. So we're going to be checking out this machine now in a few moments. But prior to that, prior to that, we're going to start off with this week's news. As Just Roy has gifted 5 tier 1 subs to our members here on Twitch. Roy, thank you very, very much indeed. And lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Just Roy, do be sure to say thank you. Insane support for the channel tonight. Thank you very, very much indeed, lads. I really do appreciate it. You're very kind. Very kind. Maverick Mike is here. Good to see you. Now, we'll turn down the tunes of the sim and we'll bring up our news tabs. Holy tabs on a screen. Right, we'll get through this as quick as you can because I know you want to see the aircraft. You want to see the stuff tonight. So we'll go through this as quick as we can. Our news tonight, massive shout out over to Vasco at msfsaddons.com and to Callum and the lads over at FS Elite. We start off with Flight FX. A trailer dropped, I think it was yesterday. They have secured Piaggio's license as a native P180 Avanti as it joins now Flight Sim 2024 as a native build. So the P180 Avanti, this released, I want to say last year, it could have been earlier. It's now on a very short final for 2024, and it has been officially licensed by Piaggio Aerospace, which is huge. When you see developers able to work with the real world manufacturers, it just means multiple things for us. It means now that we have an aircraft that's signed off by a manufacturer, meaning that the visuals, the sounds, and the systems, well, they just tend, or should at least, be at a higher degree because, well, they have access to the manufacturer, right? That's a huge thing. They actually have access to information. There's someone at the end of the phone to say, hey, what does this do? So it cuts out a lot of the guesswork. This is great news. The Catfish, is now officially part of the family, with Flight FX announcing the rendition of the Italian twin pusher. Well, it's now licensed from Piaggio themselves. And while the aircraft has already made a name for itself in the community for its jet-like speeds and unique profile, the licensing milestone marks a shift from a highly accurate tribute to a manufacturer's backed simulation, which is great. Now, if anyone hasn't flown this yet, this is a remarkable airplane. It's weird looking. It is weird looking, but it is quite a unique airplane, and FlightFX did a great job on this. The aircraft configuration using turboprops in a push configuration, meaning that the props are actually facing behind you. Think of it as like it's somewhere between like a business jet and just a heavy twin prop, because it was designed for kind of that business travel, right? But an incredible aircraft. It now coming to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Release date is tomorrow. Previous owners of the P180 will get this for free, which is so great to see. This is very welcoming. But they also now bring a lot of the native 2024 features to this aircraft. One of them, of course, is the new VAMS system that FlightFX used, the VAMS 2.0. We've seen this in the H-Jet. We've seen this across their fleet as well. It's the Virtual Aircraft Management System, VAMS, right? It's very, very good. They also confirmed a free upgrade path, and if you want to buy the aircraft, if you've never had it before, release price is just $24.99. You're getting a whole lot of airplane for that price. It has quite unique avionics, but as I said, it's the entire package. You can see it there. It's mad looking. Tremendous performance. The thing is fast, very fast, and it's just quite a unique machine. It's so much more different than your standard, Beechcraft or, you know what I mean? It's out there, Tanker Man, thank you very much indeed. 6 months, buddy. Cheers, man. Thank you very much indeed. Fastest turboprop in the world. Yeah, I'd well believe it. And it's weird, like there's so many kind of Italian made. There's just the design. You're looking at it thinking, the old glare shield now didn't exactly meet the main panel, and the sound inside is actually very good because the props are so far behind you. It was a lot of cool features with this aircraft. But anyway, a name change and a systems boost. So the core of the experience remains built around the Collins Proline 21 avionics suite, and pairing this sophisticated glass cockpit with advanced flight and engine modelling. FlightFX says it delivers a simulation that mirrors the real world's aircraft reputation for being a pilot's airplane. Right, brilliant. So yeah, Chris is here. Good to see you, buddy. You have it. It's a great plane. You flew this in 2020. You'll get a free upgrade then, Goblin. Absolutely brilliant. It's a great sounding airplane as well. Yeah, dude, they're awesome. I can hear the Avanti miles away. Yeah. TJ Turner says, I bet Piaggio will become a default aircraft. Maybe. The 180, it occupies a unique space in the market, competing with light jets in terms of speed, while retaining the efficiency of a turboprop. With official backing and a clear path into the next generation of flight simulation, it does remain one of the more versatile and indeed stylish choices for executive and utility flying. Definitely worth checking this one out. So as I said, due to release tomorrow. And we've flown this before. It is a remarkable plane, and this is kind of up there in terms of oddness, right? When you consider certain aircraft, things like Starship, they're just out there. You're thinking, but really, this thing flies? Someone flew, yeah, right? It's one of those, but it's very, very good. I drove a Vespa Piaggio. It also had VAM's virtual moped management system. Brilliant, Roy. Brilliant. So great news there from FlightFX. Now, an aircraft we're checking out tonight is that of the upcoming Airbus A340-600. And this is a joint venture between Aerosoft and ToLiss. If you've never heard of the name ToLiss before, they would be a highly sought after X-plane aircraft developer. They build their add-ons inside of X-plane. And they have the reputation of producing some of the most in-depth system simulations of Airbus aircraft. So much so that aircraft officially endorsed the ToLiss lineup, which is great to see. This is a joint operation between Aerosoft, who primarily is working on the visuals of the aircraft, with ToLiss looking after the systems, engine management, electrical, all that sort of stuff. We do have an A340 in the sim, the INIBuilds. That's a cracker. It's one of my favourite. I suppose because we get that Praetor variant and they released the VIP one. This one's slightly different. It kind of, it has a look at the A340 in a different light. But also, it's a different variant. This is the Dash 600 fitted with the Rolls-Royce engines, as opposed to the Dash 300 that we have from INI. So we'll be checking this one out this evening. Now, the good news about this, they've set the release date tomorrow. This is going to release tomorrow. friends. So I want to show this one off this evening to give you an idea. Is this a long-haul airliner that must now be in your virtual hangar? I think it's an important release regardless, because it's one of those kind of defining moments in a flight sim platform when you have a developer coming from the likes of X-Plane working with someone in Microsoft Flight Sim, or you know what I mean, Aerosoft, and they join forces. This is technically, in theory, on paper, bringing you the visual fidelity of the modern Microsoft Flight Simulator, along with the system's depth coming from X-Plane. This is the idea. I haven't a clue what the price, Gibbo, and I wouldn't mind. I only asked the question earlier on. I don't know what the price is going to be. I don't even know where to guess. I mean, the reality is this. The INIBuilds aircraft is already out there. I'd be shocked if this is going to be more expensive. If I were to hazard a guess, and this is just me thinking, I would say this is going to be in the 50 to 60 euro category, I think. I could be very wrong. This thing could be half that. It could be twice that. I just don't know. We will check out the aircraft tonight, though. I just want to give you just an overview of the systems, because ToLiss have brought some incredible features we haven't seen yet in Microsoft Flight Sim. They're very much from the X-Plane world, and they've made it work. So it's going to be interesting. You have it in X-Plane as well. I have this in X-Plane as well. It's superb. It'll cost 1 kidney and a liver, right? Roy reckons the 80 to 90 mark. I don't know. It's hard to call, lads. It's hard to call. Like, we'll know tomorrow. You know, we'll have to wait and see. But that's an aircraft we'll check out this evening. Now, speaking of INIBuilds, they have released an update for their Airbus A300, and it's a performance overhaul. But the question now is, where's this epic mod? So, the INIBuilds A300, long been a polarizing aircraft in the sim, while it captures the character of the classic widebody, it also developed a reputation for being demanding on hardware. The latest version, 1.07 update, which has just been released for the premium edition, well, it aims to address those performance concerns. However, the update also raises another question. What happened to the Epic mod, a modern glass cockpit overhaul that was originally planned for late 2024? Performance being the headline, for those who have struggled to fly the A300 into dense airports like Heathrow or LA, well, the update should be a big relief. The developers saying they have significantly improved the way the aircraft handles resources, especially in the freighter variant, which previously suffered from lower frame rates compared to the passenger one. On a high-end system featuring a Ryzen 9800 and a 4090, the passenger variant has jumped from 64.7 FPS all the way up to 80. And even more impressive is the gain on lower spec hardware, where the freighter version saw an increase from 30 FPS to over 43. It does make a significant update to the aircraft, making it more accessible. So despite the technical wins, no way we can ignore the elephant in the room, writes MSFS Add-ons, when they say the Epic mod was supposed to be an expansion that would replace the traditional CRT screens with the modern Honeywell LCD displays. The developer originally slated this for late 2024, but the transition to 2024 and of course work on other projects from INIBuilds such as the A350, and of course we're waiting on that incredible L1011, the TriStar. So while it does bring CPDLC compatibility and time compression with the update, it doesn't include the modern cockpit. So we'll have to wait and see what INIBuilds are planning. If you're going to FSWeekend, that's certainly a question you'll be able to ask the guys, because they will be there. You'll find me over there with them. So that's definitely a question I'll be asking INIBuilds. How are you getting on? Is there the Epic mod? You know, what sort of release? If you look at INIBuilds and the sheer amount of projects that they work on, we can see them. I mean, it's aircraft, scenery, aircraft, they're non-stop, flat out. This is going to be interesting to see what they can do. You know, they've just confirmed they have shelved the Epic mod for now, so they're probably waiting on the TriStar to get out there. You know, Sunjammer says the X-Plane version is $89.99. Yeah, now, will it be the same price of X-Plane? I'd be very surprised if it is. X-Plane, and it's not to take away from that platform, but it does have a much smaller user base in comparison to Microsoft Flight Sim, so the pricing is always going to be different. Do you know? Roy says the A300 is one of my favourites in the fleet. The A300 that INIBuilds, this is a cracking machine. It really, really is. It's an Airbus with a yoke, amongst other things. It's a great machine. So, yeah, we'll find out from if the project is shelved, they might be able to give us a bit of insight to say, well, look, maybe we'll get the TriStar out, right? So it'd be interesting. But also, Energizer, good evening. Now, what's this? All the numbers. I stopped with FlightSim after P3D because I cannot handle the bad AI traffic. Am I the only one? Well, it depends. I mean, look at if you're talking about other aircraft traffic, there's a number of solutions now. VATSIM is always there, Pilot Edge, IVAO, POSCON even, right? So that's other users flying in a world in controlled airspace. But you also have great advancements now with the likes of SayIntentions. And there's other traffic injectors out there. But when it comes to, the ATC and living world experience, I would always recommend SayIntentions. They just do great stuff. Carla says, I think Aerosoft and ToLiss exactly do what needs to be done. Some products have some special things, and the replay system are stunning. Yeah. We'll be checking this out. It's class, class. Wicked Lumberjacks is here for 14 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Cheers, buddy. So, there is an update in your INIBuilds for the A300, and it's focusing on performance. This is good news. Good news regardless. The Epic mod, it's an expansion to the aircraft, but at least we know that the A300 is working better, more efficiently. That's good news. Do you know? Indiana is here. Steiny, a very good evening. Welcome in, fellas. So, Carenado returning to the classic King Air B200 for both FlightSim 2024 and FlightSim 2020. This is an aircraft I'm very much looking forward to, as is Super Thai. The B200, we actually have some images here of what we can expect with this upcoming release. Now, Carenado, they have, on occasion, knocked it out of the ballpark when it comes to aircraft, right? Their last one, the Mentor, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. The King Air B200, slightly smaller, slightly older, of course, than the King Air 350, and then we had the King Air 350i. What I like about this, of course, is going to feature the old steam gauge layout. And this one I hold a little bit closer to my heart. The B200, of course, flown by the Irish Air Corps for a number of years, and also very popular when it comes to the Royal Flying Doctors. This is just, it's a workhorse, the B200. It looks great. Anything from Carenado, it's going to look great. They have just exquisite detailing. The skills they have with how to make an aircraft look, it's quite insane. Where you start scratching your head and, there's no place like home, Toto, you'd be thinking, well, where are we at with the systems? Now, the good news systems with Carenado, especially with the last handful of releases, the systems are getting better and better and better. They have this, I forget what they call it. It's like their pro line, effectively. They've added in things like, physics, this base rendering stuff that, you can see the panel shake, you can see the instruments, gyros kind of react to it. They have the circuit breakers modeled. They are getting there. There is always the element of samey when it comes to the flight model or the flight envelope, but it's easy enough to kind of tweak that. You might have to, what I think with the Carenado fleet, you almost always have to tweak something with how your hardware reacts to it. But the good news is, it's relatively straightforward. You just go into your control curves, put in a dead zone, or maybe just change the curve, and you'll nail it. You'll absolutely nail it. I think what they give you on the foundation, it's okay, but, you can tweak it, which is great. They tend to feel less copy and pasted these days. Yeah, I agree, Zed. Before, it was like, your 172 flew the very same as like a Learjet. It was the same thing. It had that on rails sort of feeling. They are moving away from that. But, it's let's just see when this one comes out. I really hope this is a strong one for them. Don't forget, they also made the King Air, the C90 default in the sim, which is very nice to fly as well. A couple of issues with the sounds, but it's very nice. Very, very nice. So no release date just yet. The good news is, though, if Carenado are showing you this, it's weeks, days even at this stage. So we'll keep you posted. Now, we got a new sound preview for the upcoming Contrail Falcon 50. So, developer Contrail sharing a new preview showcasing the sound of its upcoming Dassault Falcon 50. And it was shared over on their Discord server, highlighting the aircraft's startup and an early listen to the detailed audio work being crafted for the aircraft. You can hear the aircraft coming to life, beginning with battery power, followed by the distinctive spool-up of the standby attitude director before the external APU fires up. We'll have a quick listen to this and see what you think. Bruno, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Right, let's have a now listen here. Very fancy, very fancy. So the Falcon 50 or the FA50, still in development from Contrail. They announced this some time ago. That the sounds on this sound very good. It is a development build that they were working on. Some of the interior textures, looking at this, some of them look fine. Some of them are a bit kind of meh, but it's very much work in progress. I think this year is going to be a great year for business jets, considering the Falcon, considering the Embraer 300E on the way from FS Reborn. Hello. Plus, we've also seen the C750 release. There's another Sovereign coming out. Just Flight, of course, working on their Learjet, and there are other projects not yet announced when it comes to the business jet world, which are all on the way. So I think this could be a great year for business jets. Flipper Alloy, thank you very much indeed. 53 months, sir. Thank you very much. Welcome in. But yeah, very interested to see how this the FA50 comes in. Oh, Mets, you're testing it. You're loving it. Nice, man. Nice. Listen, it's either way. It's a very interesting aircraft. The Falcon 50. Carenado did one of these back in X-Plane. I enjoyed it. The cockpit is quite unique. You have these massive windows, right? This is their first outing, so it's going to be interesting to see how they get on. You know what I mean? Expectations have to be somewhat controlled. It is the first time. It's a new developer, right? But certainly the sounds there, it sounds amazing. So again, no information yet on a release date, but we do know that they're hard at work. So we'll keep an eye on the Contrail FA50. Now, moving over to FlightSimTees.com, here's our segue. And Gibbo has been flat out because he's recently brought in Zuddies, which is one of these. It's a hoodie with a zip, right? And there's a bit of news around this, and I just said we'd give him a quick shout out this evening because he's now brought a ton of designs over to the zip hoodie, or the Zuddy as he calls them, right? So we have the Flight Sim Enthusiast. We showed this one off last week. I just think this is just a brilliant design to have, on apparel, right? Absolutely brilliant stuff. But we've also seen this now being added, of course, over to the Zuddies. So, if you want to have your normal hoodie, or if you want to look like Sebastian there in a Zuddy, well, that's what you can do. That you can do all these things now. And he's also added in the Queen of the Skies, a 747. Look at the state of this. Isn't this terribly nice? You know what I mean? New collection coming post FS Weekend. We'll get to that now in a second. The man has been flat out, and there's Carlos and Carla out by Western Aerodrome, right? Showing off the gear. That evening we had the sun last year. But you can get the idea, right? Just cool, beautiful looking designs. They're not over the top. Absolutely excellent. And the website, as I say, very much live and kicking. Go in and have a look. You will find a design. There's customized designs. You can get your own airports. You can get your own the nose art on aircraft when it comes to some of the warbird stuff. There is some fantastic stuff here. But huge news for FSTs because they looked after our Dublin meetup, the Flight Sim meetup in Dublin, and there was tons of giveaways and we were all dressed from head to toe in all the latest fashions. But huge news here because Flight Sim Tees are the official partner to Flight Sim Weekend. The official t-shirt for Flight Sim Weekend, well, it's all being powered by FSTs or Flight Sim Tees, and this is great news. It's huge news for Gibbo. but also our community. Here's someone in our community doing his stuff, and the recognition now, well, he's the official partner when it comes to Flight Sim Weekend. This is brilliant news. So a lot of these sold out, like, you know, the hot gone straight away. So fantastic stuff. So if you want to grab one, you can pick them up. I think it's over on Threshold, I think, where you can grab these, the official t-shirt of FS Weekend. There's Simon showing off the latest fashions, and there's Patrice there as well. So just a massive well done, congratulations, awesome news, and it's, you know, looking forward to seeing folks at FS Weekend in all this apparel. Who knows, if you wear your t-shirt at the event, we might just come up and say hello to you, or maybe do something funny. You know, I might give you a free pen, right? You know, so massive news, and as Gibbo said there in the chat, there's going to be more designs added to the site just after FS Weekend, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. If you are interested in buying any of this apparel, be it the hoodies or the t-shirts, I'm fully kitted out tonight, guys. I have the Airbus, you know, Mr. Incredible t-shirt, and also well, my new fancy TTM Zuddy. Well, if you do want to grab these, lads, ramble on over to FlightSimTees.com, and for a 10% discount, use that code up there, TTM. So save yourself 10%, because saving money is always a good thing to do. So make sure you do it. And excellent stuff, and can't wait to see folks walking around Lelystad in the gear. We'll be shouting them out. We'll be groupies. Ah, look at you wearing the cool gear, right? So great stuff, Gibbo. Absolutely brilliant stuff. So we move on. Flightline Simulations Concord-Padgett Airport from Microsoft Flight Sim has been released. This is a first release from Flightline Solutions, and the airport, Kilo Juliet Quebec Foxtrot, brings a detailed recreation of the regional airport to Flight Sim 2020 and 2022 or 2024. It's located in the US state of North Carolina, and it serves as a reliever airport for the nearby Charlotte Douglas, attracting general aviation, business jet aircraft and commercial services from carriers such as Allegiant Air and also Avelo. So widely known as NASCAR's airport, ends information, right? Deeply tied to the motorsports industry due to its location in Concord, North Carolina, the heart of American racing. Many of the sport's most successful organizations maintain private hangars here, which also include corporate offices. So there's quite a bit going on here. So we can see from some of the pictures, just to show you, right, the layout of the field, right? Single runway. And then some of the buildings that we have here. Regional airport. Looks pretty nice, this. And from a new developer, I love seeing new developers coming in, because it's just to, you know, you get an idea of where the passion projects are, what they're working on. And we can certainly see this looks pretty nice. I mean, there's nice, there's Hendrick Motorsports. There's nice kind of texturing here. The modeling, everything looks pretty nice. You know, I love this fake news on the screen, you know, fake news. They should have put in Weasel News maybe, right? But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this airport, let me see here now. It's available now. You can pick it up over on Sim Market. It's about €10. About €10 will get you this scenery. So great news for anyone who's in the area. And again, you're thinking about the business jets. You want to fly into North Carolina. Gives you some great ideas. And you now have a fairly detailed airport to fly into if you want to simulate some of those kind of fancy taxi missions. Do you know what I mean? So great stuff there. Moving on, Simulations have announced Appleton International Airport, Kilo Alpha Tango Whiskey, located in the state of Wisconsin. Appleton Airport serves the Fox Cities region and provides a range of domestic connections across the US. Airliners that serve it include that of American Airlines, Delta, United and Allegiant, and these airlines travel to major hubs such as Chicago, Minneapolis and Atlanta. Specific development details not yet shared, but Simulations, great to see them kind of move in this direction. They've done a lot of the European airports over the last number of months, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one. Simulations, I'm a huge fan of them. We've watched them from their earliest days, their very first release back in Flight Sim 2020, and their airports have been going from strength to strength, with more details, sharper resolution, better lighting. Interiors have been put in there as well, and you can see from this, this is top drawer stuff. From Simulations. So no release date just yet, but as soon as we have it, we'll be sure to let you know. But I think it looks beautiful. Appleton Airport looks absolutely fantastic. Now, FS Weekend and the FS Elite stage. If you've never been to FS Weekend, one of the main kind of major draws, apart from what's on the show floors and all the different areas, be it hardware, software, developers, us, right, people walking around, it's the FS Elite stage. Now, I had the privilege of taking part in an owl chat last year on the stage, but it was amazing to see what goes on in the background, because FS Elite, they put on a great show, and even Gibbo noted last year, Callum from FS Elite, incredible stage presence. It's so busy and he just stays on top of it. Anyway, they have confirmed some of the speakers and the guests. So throughout the weekend, seminars on the FS Elite stage, and that's all in the venue. Once you've paid into the venue, you've access to this. You just ramble in, right? So yeah, Callum was so nice that he gave the stream deck that Gibbo won to Muse Fan. Yeah, that's what happened. But anyway, some of the speakers, Muse Fan is sitting there now, Guinness after going out of his mouth on the Who's Pass. Right? Anyway, some of the speakers, Microsoft are going to be having a chat, Wind Control, Bluebird Simulations, Navigraph, OnAir, Meridian are going to be having a chat. That'll be interesting. Aerosoft and ToLiss, Moza, Virtual Fly, Tailstrike, Vector, XL Air, and also fly-by-wire simulations. Muse. Further to the seminars from the above, there are also going to be intermission slots with games, quizzes, and chances to win prizes. And you'll hear from Flight Panels. They do all the bespoke Stream Deck panels. We tested them out here on the stream. Field Air, Just Flight, and more. They also have new trailers being released from the likes of X-Crafts, TFTI Design, Flight Effects, Simulations, Aerosoft, and more. And these trailers feature some exciting new product announcements, which should make for a great experience. There's also going to be a number of prizes. Larry says, did WingWing change their name? They did. They're now called Wing Control. Someone else was called WingWing and they said, "Hey, that's our name, you can't use it." So they changed it. That's all that happened there. So yeah, looking forward to this. There is a schedule for all of this. Just turn up, take a seat. These are all the times. So on Saturday at 10:30 in the morning, that's going to be Microsoft. They have a half an hour-ish on stage. Then we'll have Wind Control, Bluebird, Navigraph, OnAir. And then we have a couple of more then on Sunday. All right. So 10:30 local is the chat with Microsoft. That's just considering we didn't have like a dev update. This will be an interesting chat to listen to see what they're up to. Do you know what I mean? With the Microsoft Flight Sim team on their way over. So very much looking forward to that. So see how we get on. Now, RAF Valley has received a new freeware scenery. This is something I want to check out probably next week. For any flight simmer interested in the UK military scene, RAF Valley, Echo Golf Oscar Victor in Wales, well, it is that of a vital location. It's on the coast of Anglesey. It's the primary training base for the RAF and the Royal Navy's future fighter pilots. It also serves as a gateway to the famous Mach Loop. There's now a freeware version of the base with a rendition that came out to show the airport or the airfield what it looks like in 2026. This release, uploaded by developer Natani, is built upon the groundwork of the original project by Skell and Superspud. It represents a major refresh of the older scenery that we saw back in 2020, introducing modern assets. So we can see here from some of the screens, right, they've added in a whole load of static aircraft, but they've tidied up the airfield something fierce. And RAF Valley, it's cool, right? Can I see a stream of it? I don't know if FS Elite will allow other people stream. They do their own streaming from it. So yeah, we should be good to see all that. Another unique feature of the rendition is dynamic crash barriers at the end of each runway, and according to the developer, the barriers are configured to change their position based on the wind direction. Ooh, interesting. Apollo, hello, good to see you. Not much flying today, it's more the news. There's a little bit of flying, just testing out aircraft, but Wednesday, primarily the news. That's what we go for. I'll give you a link to this because it's available for free for PC pilots. If you want to grab yourself a rendition of RAF Valley, there's the link to it there now. It's available on 2020 and 2024, and you can go grab it there now. So Tarnis has been along that road. Absolutely. It's a great spot. Great spot. Now, London Oxford Airport, we showcased this one, I think it was last week. Well, it received a major update from Cloudberry Creations. In the rush of new releases, it's easy to overlook a regional airport like London Oxford. However, They built something here that deserves a second look. If you haven't visited it yet, we showed this off last week, right? And it was, you kind of get the vibes of like Burning Blue design, kind of, and also kind of Pilot Plus. I think it's a mix in between the two of them, right? Now, is this... London Oxford receives major update. Oh yeah, it's the same airport. But anyway, the rendition of this, you can get it over on Contrail, priced just under £9, right? We checked it out last week, but if you're looking, I thought it was an update. If you're looking, it doesn't need an update, to be fair. I didn't find that broken. It's a very nice airport, and what makes this one kind of unique, if you did any sort of pilot training on the commercial side in the UK, chances are you're out here either for ground school or you've done a flight, London Oxford, right? Very popular for general aviation and training. Plus, Airbus have their own facility here when it comes to helicopters. So if you want to have a look to see what it's all about, we showed it on stream last week. But for the price, for what you're getting, very, very nice indeed. Now, where is this? A new challenger for Norway's primary hub. Oslo Gardermoen has launched for FlightSim 2024. We're going to check this one out next week, but just to let you know, Orbx have released it. Scandinavia, of course, no stranger to airports being released in Microsoft Flight Sim. This one tends to be the second busiest hub, and it's also Norway's largest. Has become the centre of high-fidelity showdown. Orbx have released Gardermoen for Flight Sim, a project developed by indie creator Finn Hansen. So Copenhagen Airport typically takes the crown as the busiest airport in Scandinavia by passenger numbers. Oslo are arguably more vital for virtual pilots who enjoy the regional hops. The release enters a market, well, it isn't exactly lacking in options. In 2024, Aerosoft released their own mega airport version of Oslo, designed by the well-known developer Joe Erlendsson. That version became a benchmark for immersion, featuring dense terminal interiors and custom soundscapes. By launching now, Orbx and Finn Hansen are offering a distinctive alternative. So while the Aerosoft version leans into a living airport, the Orbx releases appears to focus on modern technical accuracy. The developer saying that the scenery adheres to the current real-world airport layout, an essential detail for pilots using the latest Navigraph charts. They also have 3 different types of animated jetways. The package includes a custom ecosystem for ground service equipment, and it's available right now for about 20 quid over on Orbx. We're going to check it out next week, but anyone who likes flying this neck of the woods in Oslo, this is a newer rendition of the airport. If you didn't pick up the Aerosoft one, this might be the option for you because it's just more up to date. Speaking of Burning Blue, earlier on, they have brought a new airport, Diamond Aircraft's UK home, to life with Echo Golf November Echo. Simmers who regularly navigate the English countryside, while the transition from the flat East Midlands to the rugged Pennines requires a reliable and well-equipped waypoint. Redford Gamston Airport has long served a purpose in the real world, and its release in FlightSim 24 by Burning Blue Design provides a much-needed high-fidelity stopover for regional flights. The latest addition to the catalogue continues to reinforce the developer's reputation for capturing specific character of British general aviation hubs. So, originally a World War II satellite station for RAF Valley, Gamston has undergone a big transformation. No longer a quiet military outpost, but rather a central location for flight training and corporate travel in the north of England. The airfield is perhaps best known as the home of Diamond Aircraft UK distribution and their service centre, which makes it a logical destination for simmers who enjoy flying the DA40, DA62 and so on. Got a couple of pictures here. We can see what the crack is. We're going to check this one out next week. Chris Van Halen, good evening. We're going to check this one out next week. I do love Burning Blue Design airports. I think they do exquisite modelling, and they're always interesting. You can just go for a walk around. They do great stuff. This one is interesting because not only you have the history there, but the fact that it is Diamond's main UK service centre, flying in and out of here for a lot of pilots will be a necessity, especially for like their maintenance and whatnot. Not only their check flights, you know. Captain Beanie did his first solo at Gamston. No way! That's awesome. Carla Carla says, good alternative scenery by Aerosoft can be high on resource consumption, so going to try the Orbx one. Yeah, we'll have to check it out. Are you able to build an A320 cockpit with off-the-shelf products like wind control, asks Dennis. Yes, you can. If you have a look at Airliners Live, they pretty much did it. Do a search on YouTube, Airliners Live. The lads are dead sound. They built their own A320 cockpit. And it looks brilliant. Have a look in our Discord as well. If you want to have an actual cockpit, or if you want to have the feeling of a cockpit in terms of where everything is, the guys share all the photos of the sim rigs. I'll also have a new video coming out soon as we look at even more of your guys' pictures, showing off your sim rigs, finding out what I like, and is there room to improve, or little changes. Ideally free changes that can really enhance. But the idea being is people share photos of their setups for everyone. So you can, you'll get ideas, you'll get inspiration, or, maybe there's a solution in the picture you're thinking, oh, how do you do that? Then we can kind of expand on that. So that's coming soon as well. All right. So Burning Blue Design, this is available. You can pick it up from their own website or indeed at Orbx, and it's coming soon to the Microsoft Flight Sim marketplace over on the burningbluedesign.com website. $12.95. Not bad. We'll be checking this one out next week anyway, so we'll get a closer look at it. GA all the way. Now, Atelic targets high-fidelity German regional flying with Dresden Airport for Microsoft Flight Sim coming soon. European flight simmers often find themselves hopping between major hubs like Frankfurt and Munich, but the charm of regions like Saxony also deserve high-fidelity rendition when it comes to flight simming. Atelic is stepping up in that, where they've announced Dresden Airport, Echo Delta Delta Charlie, and it's a project that aims to capture the unique industrial aesthetic of the site and addresses a common community concern regarding the balance between high detail and smooth frame rates. Dresden, not a typical glass and steel terminal. Its history is tied to aviation manufacturing and also the passenger terminal itself. Well, it's converted. It used to be an aircraft assembly hall. The developers say they're prioritizing the architectural heritage by including detailed interiors for the terminal and also the underground railway station. The level of depth is often a double-edged sword for performance, but the developer notes that the project represents their most optimized work so far. Interesting stuff. Beyond the buildings, the developer says the scenery integrates with the existing Microsoft Flight Sim photogrammetry for the city of Dresden, which is ideal. It also comes with GSX profiles, and the release date, they just say very soon. This looks like it looks beautiful. This looks like an interesting destination, is Dresden, doesn't it? It looks nice. I'm liking that. Yeah, that's another one. We'll have to add that one to the list. No release date just yet, but I imagine it's coming very, very soon. So let's see what happens there. Now, SimFlight Services, they offer hardware avionics control with Rote Air and Pulse Air. Huh? When flying an aircraft with a glass cockpit in Microsoft Flight Sim, especially a small GA airplane equipped with a Garmin avionics unit, it can be easy to become frustrated when interacting with the units like the G1000 or even your GNS 530 using a computer mouse. It's often clunky and immersion breaking. SimFlight Services aim to address these issues with a modular hardware system that prioritizes physical knobs and buttons instead of screen clicks. The company has shared details on two specific units that work together to cover the most common general aviation needs. The first, Rote Air, or Rote Air, I think it's Rote Air. They've been available for nearly a year, while the second, Pulse Air, currently moving towards mass production. The Rote Air module serves as a primary interface for rotational inputs. The unit features 8 dual concentrated encoders, which provide tactile feedback necessary for precise adjustments. In a typical flight, it allows a pilot to change radio frequencies, set the heading, adjust baro, and so on. You can kind of see the layout here, right? So they're small little panels, effectively, right? But these could be just what you're looking for when you're thinking about, I just need a gadget that I can interface or use, right? Knobster was always an idea. If you ever heard the name, and I'm not making it up, right? There was an add-on called Knobster, a product. It was about 70 quid, right? However, it did require a bit of brain power to get it working and what you can connect it to. It's a great bit of kit. This seems to be going its own direction because it's giving you a number of these rotary dials which have left, right and push. And some of them are even dual switches, meaning they have a front and rear switch. which could be very handy when it comes to a very simple control for changing radios and your autopilot. I have a number of different peripherals. I use this little Axe Air box, and it gives me what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gives me 6 rotary dials, right? And it's grand for me. But this is very similar to what you find in an airplane itself when you look at it, right? Buttons and all the jazz. So pretty cool. A notable aspect of the hardware is the focus of its ease of use. They've created a dedicated plug-in called the Rotair Monitor, which is very much plug and play. Brilliant. Keypad for common avionics. The Pulsar module focusing on clicking, currently in the final prototype inspection phase. But according to the company, the combination of these two modules create a very flexible interface. So the idea being is, well, you have the Rotair and then you have the Pulsar. It could be just pretty much what you're looking for to say, well, hang on, 2 small little devices, they're going to control all my stuff. You know what I mean? This is where the Behringer X-Touch Mini comes in handy. Roy, yeah, great suggestion. Air Manager incorporated the Octavi IFR into their system. Nice. Octavi, same. They're all very same. The Axe Air, then you've Octavi. Very, very similar. This looks pretty cool. I'd be interested to see more on that, you know. Now, keeping track of GSX profiles for Microsoft Flight Sim just got a lot easier. GSX Pro remains one of the most influential add-ons for Microsoft Flight Sim. Love it or hate it, well, it does bring an awful lot to it. For many simmers, though, the process of checking which airports have custom profiles and which are still using generic data, well, it's very much a manual, time-consuming task. As Mr. Jaybird TV has raided the channel with a whole load of viewers. Good evening, Mr. Jaybird. Hope you had a great stream, buddy. Welcome in, lads. We're just covering the news here for our beloved flight simulators, but you're very welcome in, and great to see you. And thank you very much indeed. You're very kind. Happy Wednesday. Great to see you. So a new add-on here.
Allow myself to introduce
myself. Keeping track of GSX profiles. Now this came up. I'm trying to remember someone told me this over on Discord the other day. I was like, Jesus, that's brilliant. You know, I can't remember who it was. I'll scroll back and find it. But whoever it was, thanks, because I went off reading it. But effectively what it does... Oh, there it is. It was Corn Wolf. Good man, Corn Wolf. Basically what it is, this is a freeware utility, right? Dave's GSX Profile Manager. While GSX Pro includes vast databases for default gates, community-created profiles found on platforms like FlightSim.to are what provide the precise pushback paths, right? Well, the developer explained this tool scans the community folder and it compares the findings against the user's GSX Pro profiles, creating a very clear list of what's installed and what's missing. For those who frequently add new scenery to their collection, it offers a way to maintain a very high standard of ground operations without having to check each and every airport manually. You can pick up this plugin over on FlightSim.to. I'll share it here in the chat, lads, because if you use GSX, grab it, it's free, and it'll tell you what's installed, you know, is there an update, all that kind of jazz. So do be sure to grab that there. But great to see a freeware solution coming in. Like you probably argue, shouldn't this be part of GSX? They didn't, but this guy did. All right. Now we're nearly there. Did you see this? Xbox teases the next generation console. They're calling it Project Helix. This now, lads, could be huge. It could be huge, right? Because all the rage is, the biggest news we've had in Microsoft Flight Sim recently was, of course, the release on the PlayStation 5. And the performance is actually quite good on the PlayStation 5 hardware, particularly the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's very good, right? It's still a console. It's not like high-end PC, but I found it better than what I did on Xbox. However, Xbox, who are under new management, right? They have confirmed that they're working on the next generation of their hardware, and it's being called Project Helix. Microsoft have offered the first official glimpse of its next generation Xbox hardware. The company confirmed that its upcoming console, internally known as Project Helix, and it may represent a huge change in how the Xbox ecosystem works. The codename was revealed by Ashish Sharma, who recently took over leadership from Phil Spencer, who retired. In a post on X, Sharma stated that the next Xbox will lead in performance and will be capable of playing both Xbox and PC games. And let's just pause on that. Are they now building some sort of a hybrid machine, which is technically a PC inside a console, allowing you to utilize the same gaming engine being used on both console and PC? If so, this could be huge. This could be huge, you know. Captain Kenobi says, why no dev blog in 4 months? I don't think it's a big to-do. I mean, they've nothing really to add yet. They're busy with their heads down with Sim Update 5. They're going to be at FSWeekend, so I probably just, you know, they probably just said, there's no point having a chat in January. And then February, we don't have much to add. We're going to launch Sim Update 5 beta, and then sure, we'll be chatting to them in March. I don't think it's a big to do at all, Captain Kenobi, you know? Like it's not like they're gone silent, you know? Would it get rid of WASM? That's a very good question. The whole idea is when you look at potentially new hardware like this could definitely change what third-party developers have to work around, that being, of course, WebAssembly. WebAssembly is the little box, let's call it the orange box, that developers can build their add-ons. Once it stays inside that little orange box, well, Xbox can use it and PC can use it. They can all use it. If their add-on tries to go outside of that little orange box, that's where you have a WASM crash. The WASM module, the box crashes, and that's the end of it. Game over, and the sim says, it's shagged. And the sim is designed not to bring down the entire sim. The sim will keep the sim running, and the idea being is, from an aviation idea, the aircraft has suffered a catastrophic systems failure, land the aircraft immediately, restart. That's how it works. That is the brain behind it, right? Without WebAssembly, you wouldn't have WASM crashes, but you also wouldn't have a lot of add-ons, right? Some developers don't need it. Some developers can use the native SDK, the likes of FS Reborn. They build everything using the native rulebook. However, other designers want their own elements brought in, perhaps, or, you know, they've already have a tried and tested system. They'll use WebAssembly. So that's the idea of it. However, WebAssembly, if this is going to be hardware that's now able to operate across both, this could change the game here completely, right? The announcement includes very few details. It does confirm long-running speculation that Microsoft is exploring a hybrid approach between traditional consoles and PC gaming. So here's the concept. According to Sharma's statement, Project Helix will run titles from both Xbox and PC libraries, which suggests a deeper integration between console hardware and that of the Windows gaming ecosystem. Reports and previous comments from Microsoft leadership have hinted at this direction before. The next Xbox being described internally as a high-end platform with a focus on performance and a curated console experience, while also drawing closer to the flexibility typically associated with PC gaming. Now, what does this mean? Or what could it mean? For the flight sim community, the announcement comes at a particularly sensitive moment. Last week, the recent communication gaps surrounding flight sim and the broader restructuring happening across Microsoft's gaming division, right? There's a bit of looking around, what's happening, right? I don't think we've anything to worry about. I still think Microsoft Flight Simulator as a platform has been hugely successful to Microsoft. Hugely. If nothing, just even the technology behind it, nothing else has what they've done. Nothing else comes close. When you talk about, you know, procedural generation, world generation, weather, friggin' photogrammetry, nothing that Microsoft did, nothing has it on this scale. So I reckon it's relatively safe. This is just me though. But Project Helix now represents the first major public signal of the new leadership's hardware strategy. Currently, third-party creators must dedicate extensive resources to optimize their aircraft and scenery for multiple platforms. The mandate to support personal computers, Xbox consoles, and indeed PlayStation require immense engineering effort. Again, they need to make sure their stuff works either natively in the sim or inside that little orange box. Right. If Project Helix functions like a true hybrid system, well, that could drastically simplify the development pipeline for studio partners. Furthermore, it could open the door to a unified player experience, meaning simmers often debate the limitations of the Xbox platform. If you have that unified, if you have the same experiences now on Xbox than it is on the PC, this could be massive. Don't know what it does for PlayStation down the road, but for the Xbox and Microsoft's side of the house, this could be huge, right? They specifically point to an inability to use external flight tracking tools, specialized weather, freeware modifications, even hardware were limited when it comes to Xbox. However, this could be something very good. If the next-gen Xbox allows access to alternative PC storefronts like Steam or support Windows executive files, well, console simmers would finally gain access to the exact same toolset as their PC counterparts. That could open up the likes of FlightSim.to as well. Anyway, we'll learn a little bit more at GDC. No doubt we might hear something at FSWeekend, right? But this is interesting news. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a direction that could be very, very interesting, you know? When you consider this, the pricing of hardware and upgrade paths and PCs in general, it's friggin' nuts, right? Consoles aren't that far behind, but they're a much lower entry level to get into flight simming. The Xbox has always struggled with flight sim. It's all right, but when you're missing all that interaction and inclusion of the third-party communities and VATSIM and, you know what I mean? It gets a little bit, but what do we do next, right? This could ultimately change that, because I don't think the PC Pilot has way more options versus the Xbox Pilot. They just do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll hear more. But great news. Great news. Now, INIBuilds, they have launched massive March Madness. I hope you're keeping up to date with this. We're posting it every day over on our Discord. But they have massive sales on right now, up to 75% off all sorts of stuff, and their vendors, not just the INIBuilds themselves. There's over 500 products highly discounted. So make sure you ramble on over to the INI store, because they have huge discounts available, and you can use the link below here on Twitch. Just click on the little gadget that says INIBuilds. That'll bring you straight to INIBuilds, and you get to see. The event itself, it's running through March 9th up to the 23rd, and there's an absolute barrel load of savings to be made, especially when it comes to your scenery stuff. Check them out. I'm sure you will find something there. Items that are on discount at the moment, for instance, if I were to say, right, Newark, Drzewecki's Newark Liberty, 14 quid, right? What else do we have? Birmingham Shuttlesworth, that's only a new one from Flight to High, 14.50. What else do we have? Quick, Tweed New Haven from Flight to High, that's like €6. Right? Kuala Lumpur Mega City, geez, I don't have that. 12.76. What else do we have? Tulsa is in there. Farmingdale, there's huge sales. So make sure you ramble over. Click on the link below here on Twitch, and that'll bring you over to the INIBuilds website. Great news from them. Now, Dominic Design have announced Indianapolis International Airport for X-Plane 12 coming soon. Dominic Design have announced their plans to release the airport for X-Plane 12. Indianapolis, of course, the primary airport serving the city of Indianapolis and the wider state of Indiana. Located around 7 miles southwest of downtown, the airport features a modern terminal complex with 2 concourses, handling the majority of commercial passenger traffic. Planned features will be that of a highly detailed airport building layout, accurate runway and taxiways, custom ground marking textures, realistic night lighting, and all is going to be heavily optimized for the X-Plane 12 platform. So to give you an idea, with a little video here to have a quick look at, and yeah, videos and X-Plane, it doesn't really do it justice, does it? My eyes, man, they're like, sometimes X-Plane, absolutely your jaw will drop because you're looking at it going, that looks so good, and then the next scene you'd look at it, it's like, that doesn't look good. It's kind of where it's at. I will say though, the sky in X-Plane is phenomenal, or at least it can be phenomenal. The sky colors, the representation of weather, they've done some really, really good stuff over on X-Plane, do you know? So great stuff there from Dominic Design. There's also a new feature, Walk Around version 2 for X-Plane. Interact with your aircraft in X-Plane with a brand new utility It's version 2, which came out back in the world of X-Plane 11. The plugin allows users to physically move around the aircraft and interact with the environment in a more realistic way. With Walkaround version 2, pilots can perform a full external walkaround inspection before departure. You can climb the aircraft stairs and even move through the cabin while in flight. The add-on also includes tools such as a flashlight for night inspections and binoculars for observing the airport environment. One of the headline improvements, the code is being completely rewritten in C++, aiming to provide improved performance and stability. You can pick up this add-on for $19.90. It supports both X-Plane 11 and 12, and if you own the original version, it's a free upgrade. Now you might say, hang on, this is a 20 quid add-on that you can walk around an aircraft. Yeah. Because again, X-Plane doesn't have a native walk-around mode. Some aircraft have it, right? But I think, again, this is Microsoft bringing out a native walk-around, and you can kind of look around thinking, there is a need for it. You know what I mean? There is a need for it. DK Funfly, good point, actually. X-Plane, I didn't read all the details, but I saw a snapshot, and they're making X-Plane available to the Apple Vision headset.
Jesus.
That's what I said. It was, what? That's fairly substantial news for X-Plane pilots if that's made available on the Apple Vision Pro. Now, if you don't own an Apple Vision Pro, well, you're not going to mind. Jeez, look at the lighting there. Look, jeez, isn't it savage, isn't it? So that's good news if anyone has the Apple Vision Pro. Right, X-Plane is going to be working away on that, which I think is huge. Absolutely huge. So in our last bit here, lads, a quick update from SayIntentions. The team are getting ready. They're going to be over at FSWeekend, but they have been hard at work at kind of, bug fixes, feature enhancements, and a couple of things we want to talk about. Pocket Sky, the mobile companion, that's received a couple of updates over the last couple of weeks, but they've now kind of gone into, hey, you do know this exists. We want you to try it more and see what you think, because they always look for feedback, you see. So when it comes to using Pocket Sky, I have more information on the next page. Pocket Sky effectively is your mobile companion. It lives on your phone. You can communicate with SayIntentions through your phone. You can talk to it, you can text to it, you can bring up maps, you can see what's happening weather-wise, you can see traffic. It's a very great, it's just brilliant. It's actually brilliant. Because if you're on your phone, let's say, for example, you're on a long-haul flight, well, you can ramble into, like, the living room, keep an eye on your phone. It'll alert you. If it needs it, it'll alert you. Hey, you need to do a thing, right? And it also opens the door then if you're using the likes of the co-pilot capabilities, whereby you can get your co-pilot just to look after the plane. 2IC, you take over. That kind of stuff. All right. And then also with CPDLC, a lot of folks are starting to practice for this year's Cross the Pond. SayIntentions is a fantastic way to practice because, well, you can simulate the entire flight crossing the Atlantic using your NATs. You can also use your CPDLC, and you can do your oceanic clearance and all that jazz as well. So you can learn a lot on that. All right. So that's all from SayIntentions. But inside this edition from our weekly NOTAMs, dual AI speech recognition is something new, and they got their updates here as well. So voice recognition can be tricky because every pilot's voice, accent, and their microphone setup, well, it's different. What works perfectly for one person may not perform the same for someone else. So to help solve that, SayIntentions have introduced a second AI speech recognition engine inside their own program. The original engine, Apollo, remains the default as it continues to perform extremely well. But you'll also notice a second one called Hermes, or as a Herme, giving you another recognition model to try if you ever feel that ATC isn't quite understanding what it is you're saying. This can be very powerful. If you're struggling for whatever reason when it comes to, voice mode, you're speaking in, but SayIntentions just isn't really understanding it, you now have access to a second model that might do a better job than what the original one did. Very interesting. It's available there. Both engines extremely capable, and depending on your accent, your speaking style, or even your microphone, you might find that one works better than the other. Right? Hermes, a Greek god of messages. There you go. There we go. So the default engine, then we've Hermes, an alternate recognition engine, and you can experiment between the two of them. think it's pretty cool. If recognition ever seems off, the most common causes would be your microphone quality, or you're speaking too fast, or your microphone's too far away. SayIntentions does give you a frequency, 118.01, which is purely to give yourself a radio check, and you can hear back what this system can hear. So if you're ever, unsure, that's how you do it. In order to change it, go into your pilot portal, click on Settings, Miscellaneous, and then AI Speech Recognition. Pretty cool. Now, a number of updates. The Windows app, they fixed an issue where some users were reporting Windows lock resets. An issue with the pilot audio could play back very slowly. A whole load of fixes there going into the traffic models there, such as taxi incursions, airport runway combinations, reduced traffic injections caused by bad glitter data. Basically, it's their weekly, hey, we're fixing this stuff. They're getting their information in, and they're able to make all the fixes. They've also launched a brand new knowledge base to make it easier to find answers. This is actually very, very good. I was shocked with how good this was, right? So the idea beside it, they called it Ace Know-It-All. The name is Ace. Ace Know-It-All. It's actually very, very good. I'll show you. The knowledge base system here is brilliant. You have all your different headings: onboarding, the knowledge base if you're a developer, and then support. Then you'll see all the popular categories, and then you'll see what ones are recently updated. So let's say, for example, right, onboarding. I'm new to SayIntentions. What do we do? When you click on this, over on the left-hand side, you have all the drop down for what you're going to be doing. On the right-hand side, we have all the information of getting ourselves set up. So we can go to the next page, the requirements, right? How do you install the client? Your first flight, example video. Like, there's so much now gone into the user experience and onboarding. I'm just trying to explain a lot of the features that SayIntentions have, because you'd be surprised how many. There's so many features on this platform that a lot of folks just didn't know existed. Well, it can do that. It can, right? What else do we have here? Some fun things to try. Tour guide, emergencies, oceanic, all this kind of stuff. You need to try it. So this brand new knowledge base, ask Ace in the corner, means you just ask him, it'll find it for you. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea, Before you continue, when you ask Ace, we log your questions and IP address for security and service improvement. That's okay. There's Ace, right? What? Let's see what you can do here. How to set up, I don't know, traffic injection. Let's see what I could break it now. This hasn't even been tested, but let's see what it can do, right? How to set up traffic injection. He's going to wait to think about it. I have to slow myself down when talking to ATC sometimes. Yeah, 100%. Oh, jeez, there we go, look. To set up traffic injections, follow these steps. Access the pilot portal, go to the pilot portal settings page. Configure traffic injection, uncheck all... So there it is. Like, that's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. So, SayIntentions, they've done phenomenal work here. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what else comes from this, but this is great to see. Like, how better to get more usage out of the platform is when they explain to you how to use it. This is just fantastic stuff. So great work there from SayIntentions. There's also other bits and bobs. Pocket Sky with a couple of quick picks when it comes to what you can do, your flight, checklists, airports, everything that is there in the UI. And of course, the SayIntentions team are getting ready to travel. They'll be heading over to FSWeekend. So be sure to stop by, say hello, and... yeah, looking forward to catching up with the lads over at FSWeekend. So great stuff from SayIntentions. They're so busy. The team, the people involved, they're simmers, right? They're us. They're just really, really nice people. So yeah, big fan of Skynet myself. Yeah, incredible stuff, lads. Lenny, yeah, absolutely. Like, in my mind, there is no one doing what these guys are doing. And it's like, SayIntentions, people think, oh yeah, ATC. It's far more than ATC. And like, to quote Brian when he said all this, we're only getting started. If you were to ask him today, we're only getting started. Like, he's still saying that. And they've all this, when they had their core product, out there, it was ATC. And then they bolted on SkyOps and Skynet and, Pocket Sky. And then you had checklists and the Copilot feature. And what was once that, the entire platform is now so vast. Still the same price when you consider, well, you know, we've put in all of these features into the same. So it's mind blowing. Yeah, I hope so, Gibbo. I hope so, because like these lads are doing incredible things in the sim. They just are. It's incredible stuff. They're really, they're really, bloody hell, there's buttons. Jamaican runner, did you see what he did? He ran in and he gifted 25 subs to the channel. Jamaican runner, thank you very much indeed. Lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Jamaican runner, do be sure to say thank you. That's insane support, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. What a legend. Thank you. But yeah, like these lads, they're just doing incredible things. So yeah, looking forward to catching up with them at FS Weekend. And again, if you have any questions for them, as I said, they're just us. You can chat to them. All right. Now we move to this. Hang on now. We make it a little bit brighter. This, friends. You've probably been waiting a minute or two. It only took us a minute or two. Right. Now, what do we have here? This, friends, is the upcoming...
Time to pull the big switch, good buddy.
There's buttons. Grizzle, look at the timing. He must have been waiting to say, when does that Murphy fella stop talking and start showing off the aircraft? Grizzle, welcome aboard. Welcome in, lads. Hope you're all keeping well. We're just about to show you a preview of the upcoming BlackSquare Caravan Professional, which is on the way from Microsoft.
FlightSim. Myself.
Brilliant. Please tell me it's releasing soon. Well, this is what we have. The release date to celebrate Ireland, of course. The release date is scheduled for March the 17th. That is next Tuesday. So less than a week, right? Now what we have the Caravan Professional, which is the passenger variant as a standalone, or you can get the Caravan Professional, the amphibian and cargo variant as a standalone. So 2 options. Or you can buy the bundle. So pricing on this, each variant is about £33.99 or €37.95 or about $47.99 if you buy a single variant. However, if you buy the bundle, there's buttons everywhere here, lads. The Boise, thank you very much indeed for the resub. Cheers, man. If you buy the bundle will cost you £44.99, €55.95 or $64.99 US dollars. So considering a single variant is going to be 37, you can get the bundle for 55. No brainer, you're getting all the aircraft, all right? So previous owners of the analog Caravan will also get a discount code offering them up to 20% off the single or 10% off the bundle. Pretty cool, right? So, well, what are we looking at here versus what we had, right? Because, well, we had the steam gauge overhaul, right? So this is different. While the panel of the Caravan Professional might look familiar, almost all other aspects of the aircraft have been rebuilt with BlackSquare's current technology and also their high standards of quality. This expansion of the analog Caravan represents over 1,000 hours of dedication and roughly a doubling of the aircraft's code complexity. Think of this as bringing BlackSquare's older catalogue up to the quality of the piston and turbine Dukes. Once you experience BlackSquare's latest technology in your favourite C208, well, the difference will indeed be clear. What we have is a completely custom exterior model created from the Caravan Professional to accurately portray each version of the C208 with high-resolution materials. There's 3 aircraft in one. The analog Caravan was a power fastenal of the 1990s 208, the interior of an older Grand Caravan, and the exterior of a modern Grand Caravan EX. The Grand Caravan Professional series features an accurate 1990s Grand Caravan, a Caravan amphibian, and also the Super Cargo Master, accurate inside and out. A custom sound package for the Caravan Professional from Boris Audio Works brings the airframe and systems to life with the best quality sound available. There is also going to be 6 paint scheme liveries authored at 8K resolution, fit anyone's taste across the 4 decades of service. Improved interior modelling and materials, which show increased wear. And yes, the doors finally open, right? New interior upholstery packages and Cargo Master interior with cargo pallets. We also can double the number of hot swappable radio configurations, including that of the KLN 90B, GTN 650, and also accurate bezels on the TDS GTN XI. The tablet interface has been brought in, showing all the niceties that we're used to so far as our static elements. We're looking at our engine, we're looking at our electrical system, environmental system, and also a bespoke custom failure. There's over 100 failures available with this aircraft. Greatly improved turboprop dynamics, including that of our ITT torque, NG, fuel flow, hot starts, residual heat, exhaust, back pressure, you name it, right? The analog Caravan had only BlackSquare's most primitive turboprop simulation. This one, even the internal temperatures of equipment are assimilated to drive the tablet visualizations.
I haven't a clue what you're doing.
Right. East Clintwood, good to see you. Turbine engine failures such as the compressor stall and surging, fuel control failure, fuel filter clogs, propeller governors, and the fire detection systems. It also has the foreign object debris damage based on surface type, so you'd have to use the inertial separator to avoid that. So it even knows the different terrain you're going to be on. The fully simulated environmental control system has been improved significantly to provide all the information needed on the tablet's cabin visualizer. This includes many cockpit controls that were previously non-functional or had limited functionality. Several new random, scheduled or performance-triggered failures have also been added, selectable via the tablet, and physics-based sound system sounds like the engine starting. They're not mere recordings. Instead, many layered sounds constructed based on the underlying simulation. Functional exterior elements and control locks have been added to the pre-flight, including your chocks, pitot covers, engine covers, and the external power cart. Pitot cover flags do blow in the wind, and leaving items covered can have a catastrophic event. New performance tablets reflect the finely tuned aerodynamic and engine cruise performance, whereas no power setting guidance was given for the analog Caravan. Physics-driven propeller governor and feathering simulation is at work. Voltage-based light dimming, right? Voltage-based light dimming. You try to start this thing at night time, you'll see the lights dim. Any draw on the battery, it has all that. Also has the gyroscope physics simulation. The electric and pneumatic gyroscopes with precision and partial failures are all in there. Strobe lights now cause realistic distracting flashing if you're in a clouded area. The KNS-81 ORNAV supports autopilot while using the no GPS configuration. And the all-new Caravan Amphibian and Super Cargo Master variants. As a measure of complexity, the 73-page analog Caravan user manual has now grown. It was originally 73 pages for the analog. It's now grown to 143 pages. It's pretty much doubled. So, that's the introduction. Let's go have a look at it. So this, finally, is BlackSquare's own model, whereby before they used the Asobo model, which, to be honest, wasn't a huge problem, right? I mean, the Asobo Caravan always looked great, but it wasn't their own. So what we're looking at here, and remember, this is pre-release, so if you see anything kind of weird or wonderful or bugged out, just let us know. We'll be sure to report it back. BlackSquare have done some incredible things on the exterior stuff fairly recently. Let's change the light of day so you can actually see things rather than shadows. Yup, you devil you. Just to give you an idea, right? So, you know, on our nose wheel here, I mean, decals even down here are readable. You know what I mean? Do not tow aircraft with rudder lock engage, maximum tow limit. So there's a lot of decals here. Everything's clean, or everything's clear. It's not very clean. You can see there's based on the livery, right? You can kind of see, well, look, you know, we're in a feeder, a FedEx feeder. This thing is not going to be clean, right? But as we move around, hopefully you can kind of see now with their own custom model, the advantages and performance on this is absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? Like it's fantastic, the performance and how smooth everything is with the aircraft. Very, very nice. Looking at the main gear again, like, you know, it's a fixed landing gear, of course, in the Caravan. The Caravan is an aircraft near and dear to me heart. I jumped out of one of these parachuting because I'm a muppet, and I broke both my legs. But anyway, you can kind of see all the surface de-ices there as well. Got some nice light up here. Here's our ice light for the wing, look. I mean, look at the detail and savage. Very, very nice. So this is their own model as opposed to the Asobo one. You can kind of see, like, this is the these are the advantages you get. You know what I mean? Here's our here now, looking at lights. Nice LEDs in there, look. jet fuel, nav light and a strobe light. And if you've never seen a Grand Caravan, up close in person in the real world, these are a big plane. They're a sizable L machine. It's BlackSquare's, it'll be decent. Yep. It's called parachuting if the parachute... Wait, is it called parachuting if the parachute doesn't work, or just jumping out of a plane? Bit of both. So this one here, this is the cargo variant. And as I said, you have options if you go with a single variant or you buy the bundle. A Caravan on floats. I mean, would you get out? Absolutely savage. Can't wait to go flying with this. So that's the externals. We can see that we have the cargo pod underneath. Depending on the variant and the loadout, there's a lot of different changes you can do to these aircraft. We're just going to have a look at the cargo variant here this evening, but expect a lot more content. I'll be showing more off over the coming days. So what we want to do now, having a quick exploration of the exterior, if we jump inside, just to give you an idea of what we can interact with outside the aircraft, right? So we've click spots all over the place. So we see our prop spinner here. This is where you kind of remove your before flight. Now you can expect videos coming out from Nick, right? You know what they do, their deep dive videos, right? So what I like about this, you have the option of using Microsoft's pre-flight, or you can bring up your tablet, which is just down here, and this is where we can get into it here. So we can actually remove our stuff from here: wheel chocks, rudder lock, pilot covers or pitot covers, and all the jazz. Then if you wanted to add fuel, and it has this with your cargo, you can actually see the cargo load up into the aircraft. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. And you can change the weights and balances and all that kind of jazz as well. Fuel up here in the tank, so we'll go 120 in both. There we go. We have switches for the doors. There's a bit of texture flickering there. I noticed that as well. So we'll let Nick know the crack, right? So what we'll do, we'll get our doors closed. That closes up everything. Keep our sounds good and loud. And just to show you now, well, some of the options, right? So these are all our primary and secondary avionics. You know the crack here when it comes to BlackSquare. We also have our options here for your VR tablet position, Insta Beta on touchdown, show beta announcer, realistic yoke movement. This is new. This is absolutely fantastic, right? And then we have some other options there. Moving across to our payload manager, again, you can just see the amount of options we have here in all the different zones of the aircraft. If you have the cargo pod or not, or if you go with the passenger variant, you'd be putting in passengers. This will change to reflect that. You can change it from gallons and pounds over to litres and kilos. You also have an option here to refill your oxygen, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to the engine, this is our Pratt & Whitney PT6. We have a repair, clear, repair, starter, clean filters, and we can see a full visual diagram of what this engine is going to be doing, and we can see our battery in here as well. Engine condition, it's brand new shampoo for the moment. The electrical system, again, nothing new here from BlackSquare, but it's just showing you now the complexities of the aircraft, and it's the simulation behind all of this. That's what this aircraft shines, because it's not just an icon anymore. There's a reason as to why it's doing what it's doing, and you need to figure out why that is. The manual is available right now. If you want to go over to Just Flight's website, you can grab the manual, start learning about the systems, understanding how they work, because then when you go to fly it, you'll see the simulation in motion. Now, the cabin simulation is very important on a 208. You've one engine, right? So yeah, you have to manage the engine, but the cabin here, this is very important to keep an eye on, because, well, the general layout of the cabin, it can get hot very quick, right? So we do have air conditioning, we do have a number of air vents, and we'll go through all those in a moment. You can see your pulse oximeter, and of course the ear discomfort when it comes to the ram air, or not ram air, when it comes to the pressurization with the aircraft. And then your temperature or your temp mode, you can turn that on or off. You can have a set point, right? So let's see what happens. Kanzui, take it easy, buddy. We'll see you soon. I jumped, the parachute deployed, but I landed too hard. Loads of fun. But anyway, then we have the failures over here. Global failure rate. And I remember Nick telling us before, you know, this mean time between failure mode, MTF or MTBF. What's meant by this? This isn't just a random number. Nick was telling me he got data from NASA when it came to, like, an airframe should fail after this amount of time. You know, a prop governor should fail after this amount of time. And if you're rough with the equipment, if you're not mining the equipment, well, that accelerates it. Now, to make it useful for us flight simmers, we have the option to have this stuff active or disabled. So there's no consequence unless you want consequence. So it's entirely up to you. Giving us the choice is always better here, right? So back to our options, we're going to make sure that all our ground stuff is clear, which it is. We're going to finish up with the tablet, drop them back. We're going to remove the control lock, all right? So bit of stuff before we get going here. You can see the textures inside, very, very nice. This being a cargo variant, not much to look at. It's empty, right? There is interior lights, and we'll check out the lights here now in a moment. So we'll start up at the very top. We're going to put our fuel valves on. Oxygen, we have enough in the tanks. Lights are currently off. Flap handle is in the upper neutral position. Prop will go full into idle. Trims are okay over on the left side. We're going to disappear the yoke here just to give us an idea. Park and brake is indeed set. We'll go with our nav lights, and we're going to go for the battery switch. Have a listen to the sounds. So our cabin temperature is quite high. Get this window open. And what we're going to do here now, we'll have a look down. So we can see that our standby alternator power comes on. Avionics 1 can come on. Quick check on all our circuit breakers, and each and every circuit breaker is modelled, plus the systems behind the circuit breakers. Right, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Alternate static we don't need. We will open up our inertial separator. We have our nav lights.
Jesus.
We'll get our strobe light on because we've no beacon, and we can see some of our avionics starting to come alive here, but we don't need them for much. We're going to focus now on an engine start. I want to start up the engine because I want to get that AC unit running, because we can see our cabin temperature, well, it's hot as balls, so we need to do something. So battery switch is on. Fuel booster will go to normal, and you can audibly hear that. We go to high or normal. You can hear that tipping away in the background. Fuel shut-off valve is closed. So the starter motor, ignition is normal. We're going to go to a start. So we'll make sure the prop area is clear. And because this is our PT6, we're going to be watching for our ITT and NG. So let's see what happens. Okay, introducing fuel. Watch your ITT for a hot start. 750. Right? Sounds are savage. Let's get the air vents open. Have a listen to the air vents. And because we've selected realistic yoke movement, that's the airflow moving around the back of the elevator, and this was what some other aircraft do it as well, but that movement is real. And it's based on how much airflow is going over that elevator. If we were to increase the torque, they'll respond more. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It's a nice feature to see. All right, let's have a look. So we need to get some AC on here. We're going to cool everything down. Cabin heat off. So this is all about trying to bring the temperature down. So aircon is running like a devil. We'll bring back up our tablet, and we can have an idea, or get an idea of what's happening. So our engine, we can see that our inertial separator is keeping, if there was to be any foreign object debris, that's out of the engines. If we go to the cabin, we can see our AC compressor is now running, and this should be bringing down the overall temperature. We've now dropped below 32 degrees. Our high cabin temperature is now extinguished. We're not too bad. We can also go in and have a quick check to make sure that our batteries are doing what they need to do. Generator is taking the main load here, and our volts are up around 28, it looks like. So we're good here as well. And again, if you were to activate any lights or any of that, you'll see these drop down. So if we have a look at the generator, as we go ahead and bring on additional lights, you can see the voltage now increasing. Yeah? We turn them off. you can see the volts dropping off. So everything is fully modelled in this. You know what I mean? It's great to see. Right, what else do you want here now? Pedostatic, not going to need. De-icing systems. Again, they're all modelled. So if we did like if we wanted to fire off the boots, you would actually see the membrane pop through this to blow off the boots. Pretty cool, right? Just glad welcome in. So I'm hyping up for this. Cabin temperature is getting lower, so we will remove that. Taxi light is on. Weather radar should be on standby, but that works. And then we have our avionics in here then as well. So go ahead, set this up. We'll go ahead, set that up. Enter, back. Everything works. Isn't it deadly? So we're going to come off the brakes and taxi this machine out. Brakes off. And less of me and just focus on the sounds, right? That's the beta range. Isn't that savage? Okay, so we'll go for some flaps here. Look at the animation there, isn't that class? Sounds are really, really good. Easy now. Okay, all our lights are on, onto the runway. And we got ourselves lined up. So this is releasing on the 17th of March, next Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day. Brilliant. Alrighty. Now again, as I said, Nick is going to release a number of videos, tutorial videos, making you understand what all the systems are doing. If you've flown a Caravan before, you're not going to be lost, right? It's mainly the engine management you want to watch. In particular, right, we need to look at our torque settings. Because we use that inertial separator, we can't exceed whatever that 1800 we say on our torque. So we need to watch that. The prop and prop governor should do what it needs to do. We'll test that before we go. So we're going to bring our RPM up to about 2000. And we're going to cycle the prop. So have a listen. So we'll see a drop in a prop, we'll see an increase in torque, and then we'll see a drop off in fuel. Back to idle. Now one thing I want to show you here as well, this is absolutely deadly. We've seen this in the Dukes. You can actually tap the glass of the dials and that'll let you know if, you know, they fail. If the gyro's going to fail, you can actually tap on the glass to make sure that they're working properly, which is absolutely deadly. We also have a headphone jack, noise cancellation, and I think we can increase that. Maybe, maybe not. Before we get airborne, I just want to show you the nighttime lighting. Oops, Murph. Ooh. Get me torch on here so I can actually see what's happening. Disappear you for the minute. Now, we want some lights, because the lights in here are absolutely friggin' gorgeous. You can really get kind of that perfect nighttime kind of environment, you know what I mean? I mean, isn't that spectacular, lads, isn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? See our strobes out the window there as well? Isn't that very, very good, isn't it? Great lighting on the ground. The strobes are absolutely brilliant. And let's say, for example, because they do have this feature, if you wanted to increase the cloud, right? Using strobe lights in the cloud, crazy talk, but you can do it. So if we were to say, right, give us a bit of cloud on the ground here, right? And just look at how mad we can make this cloud, right? That's probably overkill. That's interesting with the scenery. But the strobes will give you such a... just wreck with your head, you know? You'll be like, wait, what? It's absolutely deadly. So we'll bring it back to real time, real weather, all the shebang. And, right. To infinity and beside. Are we ready? Off the brakes. Power coming in. Watch the torque. There's our takeoff power set. Airspeed is alive. 60 knots. Ah, Jesus. The sounds are amazing. And they're very good. It's just class. Absolute Jesus. Absolutely class. Right, torque is looking okay. Hand flying this thing is really nice as well. We'll just get our trim set up here. Flaps are already in. No yaw dampener to worry about. And we'll just kind of circle along here. What we can do, watch our torque. I'm going to reduce the torque a small bit just to show you the simulation of the added torque when we close off that inertial separator. So I haven't touched my power settings. See how much torque came in? That's great simulation. Great simulation. Very capable autopilot in the aircraft as well. So let me see. If we go heading, let's zero our heading bug. So we're going to go autopilot, heading, and altitude hold. And there's our autopilot fully set in. And we can probably get best performance here. Cruise speed in the aircraft 140, 150 depending on what you're carrying, right? Hey 777 driver, good to see it. So this aircraft is due to release next week, lads, on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. That's when it's scheduled to release, and it is that of the Caravan Professional. Deadly. In terms of the aircraft itself, the Caravan was designed to be single pilot operation. Now that's not to say it's easy. It's relatively easy to get into it, but in terms of keeping an eye on your systems, there isn't an awful lot of automation that'll hold your hand. So like, you definitely have to keep an eye on your engine management, and you definitely need to keep an eye on the interior environment when it comes to your temperatures. So for example, we're running here at about 11 degrees inside the cabin. That's quite low, but again, we are running our air conditioning unit. So when we turn off our AC, this should give us back a little bit more power in the aircraft. And the vents, have a listen to the sound when we close the vents. And they change. If you open it a smidgen and then fully open. So it's not just like a simple switch, this is what it should sound like. You know what I mean? Same on this side. It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. In terms of failures and what we can mess with, oxygen system. You heard the oxygen come alive. Headphone mode. So the oxygen, and it does run down. Like, you'll absolutely run this down. Again, you can tap the glass to make sure everything's working okay. It's all modelled, which is deadly. Absolutely great to see. What else can we do here? Park and brake, no. Like, the depth of systems, as I say, like, it's top drawer stuff. Top drawer stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful aircraft. So the Caravan Professional, which you can either buy it in two variants. You can buy it as the passenger variant, or you can buy it as the amphibian and cargo variant, or you buy them as a bundle. My recommendation, always buy these as a bundle. They fly differently. The passenger and the cargo, you have the options of that cargo pod, but when it comes to the amphibian version of it, it's a different type of flying altogether, right? Because if you've never seen what this thing looks like as a cargo variant, or an amphibious variant, I mean, check out that look, right? Absolutely brilliant. So these are the different variants that we have. And as I say, the release date is next Tuesday, and I think you're going to be very happy with this. It's another, and it's not even released yet, but this is a very strong release. It's another great one from BlackSquare. It just is. And it flies really nice. Really, really nice. Neil, good to see you, buddy. The thing is huge with floats. It's massive. Absolutely massive, right? So, where we are, let me see. We'll do a bit of an active pause here. Just want to give you a quick look around the airport, because this is... where are we now? This is Mount McKinnon. If I can find the airport, there it is. Mount McKinnon. This is a brand new release from Orbx, and this is where we took off from today. Just want to give you a quick look at it, and then we're moving over to the A340. This airport, as I said, is this not it? Murphy, you're lost. It looked like it, but it's not. Where are you? Oh, Jesus. Here's a fella who's lost. Can you see an airport around here? No? There's one airport. Right, we'll load it back in just to be sure. Restart the flight. So the airport, Mount McKinnon, it's a new release from Orbx, and Kilo Sierra Sierra India, and the charm of the Georgia coast with the most authentic rendition of McKinnon, St. Simons Island.
We're going the wrong way.
Oh, we went totally the wrong way. Absolutely. Look at the state of this thing, look. And like, you know, if you're wondering, hey, can I interact with all the buttons and stuff? You can, look. I mean, there's click spots galore on this. Absolutely deadly. We can pop in the external power, look. Isn't it deadly, isn't it? Like, it's deadly. Absolutely brilliant. So, quick look around this airport here, just to give you an idea, right? So, it's available from Orbx. It's 32 Australian dollars, right? And corporate flying, Gulfstream, of course, or indeed Cessna feeders, just like what we're doing here. General aviation is from the indie developer Andreas Hegge, and it brings the heart of the Golden Isles to life in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Number of features: native 2024 development built from the ground up. Photogrammetry has all been included. And it's all color coded and fixed. Ultra high definition PBR texturing every surface, from the sun bleached asphalt to the hangar walls. I'll show you that now in a second. Also, on-site authenticity. They utilized actual on-site photographs to create photorealistic HD textures. Ooh! So let's have a now look around here. So you can kind of see from the textures here on the T hangars, right? Or just the hangars, not even T hangars, just hangars. And plenty of detail here as you move around. It's just a nice general aviation airport. So we'll ramble down here to show you where there's more happening. So now, there'll be a hotel, and a bus, and a pool. That's actually pretty cool. If you stay in the hotel and then like your pool is like literally by the airfield, who wouldn't want to stay there? Brilliant. So here's our main building. Doesn't it look nice, doesn't it? Golden Isle Aviation. That's very pretty. And we have an interior by the looks of it. Ah, deadly. That's class, isn't it? Very nice. Let's ramble around. Will we get in trouble here? We went through a wall. Man, that's That's some freaking terminal, isn't it? Hertz car rental. Out the front now, yes. Your pool would be contaminated with jet fuel, right? It's very nice, isn't it? Just a nice little airfield, but plenty of space around it. Loads of little buildings and all the jazz. My screen was flickering because my mouse wasn't on it. So the general layout, look at this. You got like shopping centre off to one side, the mall, Air Elite hangar. I think you can actually start inside the hangar as well, which is deadly. Details on the wall. What can we see? Flight Simulator 2. Not deadly, isn't it? Don't you love seeing that? Flight Sim 2002. Yeah, it looks very, very good, doesn't it?
Hello there.
And then we have more kind of private hangars and stuff over this side of the field. Right? So we'll ramble. Like, it's a big old facility. Here's all our T hangars here. So our general aviation stuff. Private hangarage. We have a perimeter fence here with a whole load of park, a different build or industry, I suppose. Loads of cars though. Yeah, it's an old airport looking at it. Like is it an old friggin' Army Air Corps base? See that layout? Oz Flight Simmer is in the house. Good to see you, Shane. Welcome in. Good evening to the most beautiful virtual pilot in Flight Sim. Good evening. Yeah, it is an old military base. Yeah. From the lookout. Or from the layout. Right by the coast here as well in Georgia. We got some details over here, look. So 30 Australian is about what, €15? Right? Yeah, the layout is a bit of a giveaway. It absolutely is. But it's great. It's a nice little airport. Let's have a look at the night lighting. Ooh. Give it a second to all calm itself down. So we have nice spill lights there. Like, it's going to be basic enough. I mean, it's general aviation, right? But if we ramble back up, I mean, that's all nice there. Each of those hangars, look. That is pretty. Back up by the hotel then, and where the terminal is. I mean, that's pretty, isn't it? A little bit of LOD pop in there. Ah, yeah, that's nice. The lighting there, that's superb. Look at that. Jesus, look at that, lads. It's right next to the old Glencoe Naval Air Station. Aha. Practically Geek, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it has a pool. The hotel, like, right onto the friggin' FBO. That's class. It's only a small pool now, but, like, do you know what I mean? I'm just staying there for the day. You get to look at airplanes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Great stuff here from Orbx. And, yeah, as I say, it's just a nice little airfield. I like this. So that concludes the first part where we have a look at our scenery and that of the upcoming BlackSquare Caravan Professional. Doesn't it look terribly pretty, this thing, doesn't it? Absolutely brilliant. 404 is here. Good to see you, buddy. It's McKinnon. McKinnon Airport and St. Simons Island Airport is the name of it. But yeah, pretty cool. Absolutely cool. I think the people's modeling, I think Chase Plane does an issue with them. Simons. Is it Simons? See, I was going to say Simons and I was like, don't say Simons, Murph. They'll give out to you. It's Simmons, so it's Simons. Right, brilliant stuff. Moving on. We're now going to show you something different. We're going to show you the upcoming A340, which we just got news. This is releasing tomorrow. So we have the A340-600. This one from Aerosoft and from ToLiss. Number of different liveries. Again, it's pre-release. I don't know what will make the final cut. We're going to load in with a nice Virgin Atlantic livery. And we're going to start ourselves over at Shannon to give you an idea. So we shall leave the States of the Uniteds as we ramble over here to Shannon. And just to give you an idea what you could expect from this upcoming aircraft. So if you're thinking maybe cross the pond, this would be a strong consideration, right? The 152, yeah, we're going to check that one out just after this. We're okay on time so far. We haven't completely broke it. Right? Let's see what happens. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a very lovely day. That BlackSquare aircraft, as we say, that's going to be released next Tuesday. And the pricing, you'll see it over on Just Flight's website now. There will be more content coming. I'm probably going to fly that heaps more on Sunday. My plan is to do a bit of streaming on Sunday. So you're doing a great job, Murph. Carry on. Thank you, Gibbo. Although my sim has frozen here now. This will be interesting. We might have to end X and start it up again. Oh no, there she goes. She's alive. Right. Let's have a look. So this machine, let it load in and I'll fix the weather so we can see textures and all this kind of jazz, right? This will take a moment. We'll just load in with like default weather. And again, we've sounds, right? And I don't know why that door opened up itself. But let's configure the gadget first. Give it all a second to worry about life, and then we'll start taking over. All right. So let me see. Doors. We're on power, and we'll get all this up and running here at the moment. So what do we have? Well, we've doors open already. There's state saving and all that jazz we can get into. But it's an A340. And what we have here is the aircraft visuals very much driven by Aerosoft. And then everything else is ran by ToLiss. Now, as I said earlier on, ToLiss, a very well-established X-plane developer for Airbus aircraft. So much so that Airbus themselves endorse the products, right? So mixing that level of complexity with the visual capabilities of Aerosoft, well, this looks to be a kind of a match made in heaven, because as flight simmers, we're getting the best of both developers, right? Having a look at the Rolls-Royce engines, these are going to be unique versus the A340-600, and there's some really nice details here. Texture work seems absolutely on point. Visually, the aircraft is very, very nice. It's probably, you know, it's not going to tick boxes to say it is the most visually advanced aircraft rendering we've seen, but that's not to take away from the product. There has to be a trade-off with this level of complexity, but I think you're not going to have, I really don't think you're going to have any issue whatsoever when it comes to the visuals of this aircraft. They've done an incredible job, absolutely incredible job, and you can see the texture work. There's dirt, there's grime, there's you know, it's an aircraft from the 90s. Didn't really last terribly long because it became expensive, and then of course it was, you know, the 777 took over. Airbus pretty much, this was their answer, if you like, to the 747, but then of course the 350 came along, just more capable, less engines, cheaper to run, and well, they were pretty much dropped from the world of from airline carriers. Unique setup of the landing gear, similar to what we have in the Dash 300, with all the different dollies here with the wheels, including this kind of middle section here. And again, we can see plenty of dirt and grime, smudges, hydraulic oil, you name it. I mean, that sort of detail in there. That looks class, lads, doesn't it?
Hello there.
Carenado, good to see you. But yeah, it uses the Rolls-Royce Trent. Yeah. Complexability. What did I say? Complexability. Listen, don't listen to me. You guys, you know better to be listening to me. Details here then on the wing. You can see the landing light, very pretty. And there is something pretty cool here with the aircraft when it comes to lighting. And I want to show you this now briefly. If we ramble up over here, that door shouldn't be open, but we'll fix that. If we have a look over here, look. We do have a little area, and in here, these little guys, these are cameras. Ooh, because the aircraft actually features that of a taxiway camera, and that's looking at the gear, and there's another one further back. So yeah, this thing is class. It's a huge airplane. This used to be the longest aircraft in the world, right? Like, we're no stranger to A340s. I mean, it's since INIBuilds brought their one out, fantastic. ToLiss did have a 340, still have a 340 over an X-plane, which is a tremendous achievement of systems depth, do you know? So that's outside, Murph. Get back in, you muppet. We'll jump in, and I suppose the main things to show you here is the level of complexity. Now, you could be on the fence saying, once an Airbus, always an Airbus. They're very easy to follow. They've pretty much the same flows and systems in the kind of 320 family, and the A340 kind of follows on from that. A350, different kettle of fish. But this, you're going to find a lot of familiarity. I said that one right. Anyway, I'll show you what I mean. Our general layout here in the flight deck, we've 4 engines, so we just get an extra 2 throttles, 2 extra igniters, and we have our park and brake, we have our number of MCDUs, then we have our main panel here with our screens, we have our FCU up on top, and then when it comes to the overhead, similar layout where we're going to have our ADIRs up here in the top left, engine fire and APU test switches, then we have our lighting cabin, we have our pressurization, fuel pumps, and all the jazz. Relatively, you're at home at this sort of an aircraft. What's different here, to the ladies and gentlemen, is the EFB, and this is giving you insight into the ToLiss system. This is straight from X-Plane, this level of complexity and sheer systems depth the ToLiss have been perfecting over years and years. They never really excelled on the visuals, in particular when it came to the flight deck. Exterior looked always pretty good. For me, ToLiss always kind of just held back a little on the visual fidelity inside, maybe some of the sounds as well, but that's where Aerosoft are in to do their bit of work. Now, from the overall layout and the colouring and the textures, that is what you'll see. I'm using a little drop of reshade. This is native sim, so to give you an idea of the colours and the textures, they're not the best in the world, but they're far from the worst. We're spoiled lads, I think, when it comes to Phoenix. They just did it. They've done incredible things. This is fairly on par with what you would expect. I'd probably say the INI 340 has the edge on some of the texturing work here as well, but this isn't far off. So you can see this is the native colouring. I use a small bit of reshade just to kind of bring it back to what I would expect, and that's just what I do. So focusing on the tablet, well, it's a multi-functioning tablet. Really, Murph, it is. But watch, we've Navigraph up here in the top left, and once you connect everything in, this is where you get your moving maps, your charts, everything's there that you need. Lovely. Then we have our SimBrief operational flight plan. You can load in your information. SimBrief ID goes in there. You have some options as well. You can set your payload, ignore your AirAC if there's any mismatch, and you can use your SimBrief wins or that of the simulator. So that all goes in. Weight and balance with the aircraft. Again, we can go with number of passengers, forward and aft distribution for a centre of gravity, how much freight we want on board, how much fuel we want on board, or again, you're going to pull all that in from SimBrief, or you can do it manually. From our takeoff performance, something similar, right? You're going to put in your runway, the wind information if it's there. It can calculate and compute all of that based on your centre of gravity, what sort of takeoff thrust you're going to be using, what flaps are there, is your AC running. There's nothing new to us here, but the layout is very easy to follow. Landing performance, something very, very similar. Then we have our checklists. So again, we can roll by, we can see our preliminary checklists, and we can have a look here. Engine switches are off. Go ahead, click off. Green light, yeah, off. Next thing, engine start selector is set to normal. Landing gear lever, check down. You get the idea, right? We get the idea. Button here to turn it off, button here to turn it on. And it has to be said as well, one of the interesting things when it comes to ToLiss, right, is the speed in which the response time is. Everything on this is pretty much instant. There's no waiting for something to happen. And I'll show you that now when we go into the different state saving. So our startup simulation. So these are the available situations, right? And these could be, different flights, tutorial flights, teaching you how to fly the aircraft, to do all that. You can also do different situations. You can save a situation. For example, you can be configured to do a landing. Let's say you're on a short final into Shannon. You can save that as a situation, and when you next load the aircraft, you can load that landing fully configured. And I mean the aircraft is fully configured. Everything's configured. Not like when it loads in the aircraft, then hit pause, then start bringing... No. This is fully configured. So if you just want to fly that arrival time and time again to perfect it, you can do that. And this is where you start seeing the depth of what ToLiss can bring to a sim, right? So that's all in there. Then we have our engine startup. We can click of a button, or we can do the different state savings, right? So have a look at this. If I wanted to click right, we're currently on cold and dark. If I want to switch this to the ADIRs and APU on, look at the response time. I click the button. Not default. I click the button. It's instant. There's no wait there for a few minutes, we get you sorted. You know what I mean? Cold and dark. cold and dark. Right? Pretty cool. And you can set which one you want for default. All right. So what else do we have here? Different situations. Auto saving. So you have an auto save. Again, this becomes a very strong contender for your longer flights. There's an auto save function. You can change the interval yourself, disable it or enable it. Savage. Then we have the aircraft configuration for your sim control. So you're looking at little options for your simulator. User preference, sync the baro settings, simplify terrain on your ND, G-loaded cameras, so it'll add in that bit of stuff, simulation pausing, so you can freeze aircraft motion and fuel, Microsoft Flight Sim pause access freeze all, or just freeze the motion. So you can have the sim paused, freeze the motion, but everything else runs on. Auto pause if you want. That's usually, pause at top of descent and all this kind of jazz, or top of climb. You can have your sim rate increase or decrease. Then we have some visual settings, and this is where we can actually adjust the visual settings when it comes from the wing flex. We can see the screen background glow, and we can see the flex from the gear bumps. So you can see what the wings are doing. If you want to dial it down or increase it, well, they give you power to do all of that in here. Other stuff we have, use weight variant or use imperial units. So you can say, right, I want regular or I want HGW, or we can go imperial units, yes or no. Auto nav on GA, aircraft age, engine age, right? This is going to give you an idea when it comes to how the aircraft is going to be behaving, startup times, spool up times, general performance, fuel burn, failures, they're all there, all right? Ground services, what we have supplied, all our external power, high pressure, low pressure, chocks are installed. It has its own built-in pushback. Maintenance, so we can put on the engine covers, for example. Have a quick look outside. There's our engine covers now in situ, right? And again, they look the part, don't they? Great texturing. Or indeed, we can say, no, get rid of those, but open up the engine cowlings. Click of a button and the engine cowlings will open. And that's where you, in your walk around, you can go around, have a closer look at all the engines. Be cool, right? So let me see, go back into here. We will close them. Then we have our door control. De-icing is there. Aircraft doors, slides are there as well. It can connect with GSX. And we know that door 2 is open. We're going to close that. Let's just make sure that that's closing here on the side, which it is. And we also know that these guys on the left-hand side, the hydraulics are going to be needed to close these doors. So what we'll do, we'll come on up here to our overhead, and we're going to go for the battery switches. Have a listen to the sounds. Screen's coming alive. External power. Okay, crew supply, ground control, adheres, APU fire test. We'll probably get a bell, it probably just wants to warm up. Pumps can come on. What else do we want here? We're going to say arm emergency lights, no smoking, nav, wing light. Beacon stays off for the moment. Yeah, the EFB is pretty much what you get in X-Plane. Okay, what else do we have? Reading light, radios, that's all okay. Pressurization, hydraulics, they're all okay. So if we want to get the doors closed, we can see that our cargo door is open. So if we close that, right, they automatically close themselves. Did I miss that? Let's open it. What I want to show you is, do you hear the hydraulic pump? Not deadly, isn't it? Right? Little things like the motor running, then it's like, okay, it's fully open, right, close the motor. It's just little things, right? So we'll close that, same crack again. Right? It's just done very, very well. Now, chocks are there, we can remove those. Chocks remove. And what we're going to do, brighten up our screens here. I think there's a bug with this particular build. I can't brighten the screen on the FO side at the back. On the ND. Maybe you're not supposed to. I only see the one switch anyway. Right, so as you can see, IRS Align coming in. We full use of our MCDUs. We can brighten these up completely. You can also go in and we'll continue with our options here. Let me see. Let's look at our fault scenarios. So fault scenarios, random faults on or off, flight time behavior, or you can just add a custom fault. So if you want to be practicing, you know, if you want to be practicing from the likes of, you know, failures and whatnot, that's how you do it, right? Roy is asking me a question. I don't know the answer to it. So Roy, I'm going to go over and see it, can I? So the question is, can we open the doors from the external side? I don't see a click spot. So I would have to say, Roy, negative. Our door control is from the inside. Sounds and replay modes. We have our sounds, and of all that, we can completely change and edit the sounds. We also have a built-in replay mode. The aircraft comes with its own instant replay. Like, how brilliant is that? It's a no-brainer. You want to go back and replay the flight? Yeah, you can absolutely do it. You can do that from the aircraft itself. Brilliant. Joystick action, so we can see dead banding all the control curves directly into the aircraft itself. Current throttle, this is how you'd configure it. You say, right, I'm now sat in idle. This is climb. That's MCT. There's toga. And you have all this fully manual configuration, smart throttle idle lock, and then you can use your F2, F3 to toggle reversers. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What else do we have? Use smart brake pads. That's all there. And then we have our settings and accounts for setting up things like Hoppy, Navigraph, SimBrief, and all the stuff, right? So that's the tablet. Very, very powerful. What we're going to do here, we're going to fire up the APU, get some sounds in here, right? Get our beacon icon here just for the sheer crack of it as well. And give a moment for that flap to open. Airflow, stick it on to normal. In terms of the cabin, there's a nice wing view. In terms of the cabin is modelled, and depending on the airline you're flying with, this is Virgin Atlantic's business class. Some nice in-flight entertainment systems here. And then we can go further down the cattle class, as we like to call it. But here's our standard kind of BA economy. But again, they've got decent in-screen or in-flight entertainment stuff. Nothing really interactive back here. Like, there's no click spots, but it seems to work just fine. Or at least from what I can see. But I think the cabin is done really, really nicely. But there's nothing in terms of, you know, what you can interact with, the jacks, any of that kind of stuff. No, it's purely there to show you what it is. This is nice, though. Let me see. We'll go exploring here. Bathrooms. Jesus, I didn't even know this aircraft had this. That'll just tell you, right? And then we've more seats. There's probably a crew area in here as well. I don't think she's like the 777 though. 777 has like a crew area, or is that the A350? You know. But yeah, it looks very, very nice. Let's fire up this APU. We'll get an idea of the sounds from behind. Flap is open. Quas, you're very welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. Checking out the sounds.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So there's our APU. And, well, a massive welcome into Quas. Thank you very much indeed for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. Hope you guys had an awesome stream. We're here checking out the a preview of the A340-600 from Aerosoft and ToLiss. This is due to release tomorrow. And, yeah, sounds are pretty good. Hope you had a great stream, lads. Welcome in. Hey, Hassan, good to see you. Amplify, welcome in, buddy. How would you say the FPS performance is? For me, I found this to be very good, right? And what I mean by that is, this is, on my system, the FPS performance on this aircraft is probably on par with the A340. It's pretty good. I've no issues with stuttering or lag, or no issues at all. So APU is on, bleed come up. At this stage we can disconnect our external power, and we might just do a quick engine start here as we're sitting on the ground, right? Map not available because we haven't gone through the MacDo. MacDo functions as you would expect it to. So initialization page, we can init request from our SimBrief integration, and we'd have all our information when it comes to performance, our progress, have a data screen here as well, and then we have our main menu. ATC communications, that's where we can do our position reports. We can do, well, you can do all sorts. Position reports, CPDLC, and all the jazz is in there as well. Very, very good. Another cool feature here is if we want to have a look, we can say, right, can we look at these taxi cameras, right? Wild River Bush League, thank you very much indeed. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for the follow. So we have these camera controls down here, where we have the captain or first officer side, and we can have a look at the cameras. So taxi, captain side, that changes our screen. You get the please wait, and here's now this virtual camera of the tail, and also the landing gear, which is pretty awesome, right? And if we don't want it there, we can move it across. We can say no, turn it off the center, and just stick it over here on the first officer side. And again, I haven't noticed any sort of an FPS hit with these systems turned on, you know. Carl, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for the follow. So what we want to do here is going to be that of an engine start, just for the giggles, right? So we're going to go ignition, and parking brake is on. The door, by the way, works. Unlock the door. You hear the sound, and now you can go back. You can open the door, right? In terms of Easter eggs and finding things lying around inside the cabin, well, we can get in and access the likes of the oxygen mask. You can test the oxygen. A feature, I think, which is absolutely brilliant, you'll notice there's a set of headphones here. If you click on the headphones, instant noise cancellation. That's pretty awesome, right? I do like that feature. So we're going to start up this machine and just have a listen to the sound. So ignition's on. We'll start at number 3, and we'll have a listen from inside. Alison Johnson, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid, Ali. Welcome in, raiders. Checking out the A340. Have a listen. Do you hear how long that took to spool?
Allow myself to introduce myself.
So, number 3. Let's go with number 4. We'll go external for this one. Cyrus, good to see you. Welcome in. They take ages to spool, don't they? Ali, thank you very much indeed. 66 months! Jesus! Thank you very, very much indeed, Ali. Thank you so much for the raid, guys. Hope you had a great stream. Free Bro, good to see you. Gibba says, external model is a bit... I think... There's nothing on it, Gibbo, that I can see is bad. Like, there's nice reflections there. There's great detail across it. I mean, you can see the reflections here. There's certainly areas, this kind of stuff. Depending on how close you are, like, I mean, everything seems to be sharp, right? You know, you get right up close to it. I mean, there's great detail there, right? And if there's any kind of weird artifacts, I'm running frame gen, so like that might give you a little bit. I think underneath is very good. I mean, there's great reflections here. Texture is all on point. Does it look a little bit kind of like a matte finish, I suppose? I mean, there's definitely dirt and grime in the aircraft. Definitely. Actually, here's a bit of science. If we were to say, if we were to go into aircraft age, I'm not sure does that do anything with the visuals. It's more to do with performance, you know what I mean? Like, there's certainly dirt and grime with the windows. Like, there is a lot of detail on the textures. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty good. We'll start up the other side. We'll get those flaps into action then as well. I think we can start 2 at a time, can't we? Master Caution, what are you giving out about? Ah, yeah, that's okay. Right, so 1 and 2 spooling up there now. Let me see. Broussard, good to see you. Like, I think this is, like, straight up, this is not going to be the most visually advanced aircraft. It's very pretty, right? But I think Phoenix have a spoiled. Plus, there needs to be some sort of a trade-off. I can't find anything wrong with this, right? There's a texture or two maybe inside the flight deck, but there's nothing that says, oh, this isn't really good. You know what I mean? Everything here is to an excellent standard, you know? Jamie's here, good to see you. 35 months, man. Cheers, buddy. Hope you're well. I think it's more the systems depth on this thing, which kind of, you know, makes it quite unique. So, 1 and 2 are live. We'll have a listen to the flaps now. Good sounds all around. Phoenix is insane. Yeah. Systems depth, that's what they do. So, like, if we're saying, all right, what's the detail like with the wings, where the flaps are? I mean, just, you have details, right? We'll probably get a little bit more when it comes to the slats. There's nice details there, though. Like, I think the modelling work, that's beautiful. Look how the metal kind of bent and wrapped around. Like, I think the modelling here is excellent. And then on the slats. If we go for spoilers. Yeah, I think it's good enough. It uses this double aileron system. So you actually have 2 ailerons on each wing. I don't know, was that for redundancy or what? But just you have 2 ailerons anyway. Flaps coming in. Sounds really nice. Now, in terms of, let's have a look. APU we can bring down the APU. We'll get all our lights on, because let's have a look at this at night time. Runway turn off cameras, we'll play with that now in a second. Integrated lighting. Where's that switch? There's an overhead, there's reading lights. Overhead integrated lighting. Maybe it's below. Camera, engine start, floodlight, and there's our integrated lighting. Pedestal light. Right, let's see what the lighting looks like. Now we're not in pure darkness, we're on the ramp, but like this should give us an idea, right? So floodlight. Yes, it's pretty. Console light, map light. Our screen brightness, that's pretty good. Overhead, that's all decent. Is that a storm light? Dome light, Jesus, that's bright. Right, so there's your dome light. So the lighting is actually pretty good here. Just the lighting is actually excellent in here. We'll get rid of that dome light. So depending on how strong you want your lights in the flight deck, I think that's pretty nice. I think there's switches underneath then for
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Thank you, Pierce Mirandai. We do have switches down here. There we go. That'll just bring an extra bit of oomph to our lights. Oh yeah, lads, that's pretty. Now we do have a switch here for that taxi light. So we're looking at the lights here. Yeah, look at that, man. Look at all the extra lights we have now. That's deadly, isn't it? So exterior. Easy now, Jemima. Strobes are beautiful. Jesus, they're very good. The strobes are excellent. There's these lights looking at the taxi cameras, look. A bit of an LOD there. I think the lighting is very good, lads. Very good lighting. And the interior lighting. What about the cabin? Yeah, it's class. Them strobes are beautiful. They're excellent. They're probably the best strobes I've seen. Very, very nice. Back to daytime. Not that you do this, but we're in Shannon and we have permission, so we'll have a listen to the owl engine sounds, will we? So mind your ears here. We give it a bit of oomph. The sounds are really good. Fished. Good brakes. There's a nice howl there. Did you hear it? Landings, you mad? We will be flying this soon, but not tonight. But I just wanted to give you an overview. What we're getting here is, it's something I think very important for our hobby, right? You're seeing an established developer for Microsoft Flight Sim and an established developer for X-Plane joining forces to give us something unique. And you might say, Jesus, why did they bring us out an A340? Well, there's reasons for it. ToLiss already had the A340. This wasn't a complete brand new crash course. They know the aircraft inside and out. That was a huge advantage. And for Aerosoft, in terms of designing aircraft and the looks and all that we're getting here, it's spectacular, you know. Lena, thank you very much indeed. Lads, we're getting raided all over the shop. Welcome in, raiders, and a very good evening to you. You're very welcome aboard. Hope you had an awesome stream. We're here checking out the A340 briefly as it gears up for a release tomorrow. In terms
Allow myself to introduce.
Allow
myself to introduce myself.
Double alerts. Sounds are savage. Headphone simulation. It's very good, isn't it? Sounds are great. It's definitely an aircraft that, you know, when you consider this, performance is great on it, it sounds great, it looks the part, but what you have now is there's a depth of systems, right? You have a depth of systems here which is coming straight from the world of X-Plane, and that includes things like its own replay system, an auto-save feature, and a state-saving system that will save each and every single component of the aircraft. That's what they're aiming for here. Integrates with Navigraph, integrates with SimBrief, it has its own weight and balance takeoff and landing performances, has its own checklist that you can go through, right? And there's tons of them. Your startup options, are you cold and dark? Is it going to be on external power with the IRS is aligned or adheres? You have situations. This is like a state save. English, Murphy, you can do it. Say, for example, if you want to say, hey, I'm on a short approach here into Heathrow, save that as a situation, land the plane, and then the next time you want to get into your flight sim, hey, I'm going to load a situation here. That landing I did into Heathrow, right, load it. It'll load it exactly as the way it was. These are features that we're just not used to having out of the box with an aircraft, and this is where you see the advantage of X-Plane developers looking at what's capable and what's kind of missing, right? And they're able to bring it in there. As I say, ToLiss, they're no stranger to aircraft development. They would be, you know, the standard, if you like, the high standard of creating Airbus add-ons over in X-Plane, so much so that Airbus endorsed them. It's officially licensed and all the jazz. So to see this coming in, if anything, you know, from what I've seen using the aircraft, which is pre-release, I haven't given it the extensive flying. I know Jamie has. I've been watching Jamie stream it during the week. This has so much potential, but also kind of a snapshot into the future. If there's going to be more collaboration between Aerosoft and ToLiss, and we might get to see even more with other X-Plane developers, like to say Hot Start, and you know, working with established flight sim developers, and we benefit here, lads. I mean, okay, if you're in the world of X-Plane, you're probably saying, I'd love a bit of A2A, you know, or I'd love the Phoenix, or I'd love BlackSquare. Do you know what I mean? You have other developers that can work in both areas. Just Flight comes to mind. They have aircraft on both platforms. INIBuilds are the same. But this is just one of those moments in Flight Sim where you're now getting you know, two fairly seasoned developers working together, and from what I've seen of this aircraft, performance is on point, it looks great, it sounds great, and there's systems depth with new features that we haven't seen natively in the sim yet, all working. It works. Couldn't tell you what the price is going to be. It's a different aircraft than what INIBuilds have. Different so far as different engines, different usability, right? There's no cargo variant, unfortunately. There's no VIP variant, unfortunately. It comes to a number of liveries. Virgin Atlantic is one of them. Cathay is another one. There's a few more, right? But, you know, an airliner add-on, a long-haul, specifically a long-haul airliner, there's definitely a lot going on with this aircraft that would suit you, you know, in terms of if the sim crashes, there's an auto-save. There's a situational save. The state saving or state loading is instant. Put it back to cold and dark, click of a button. Do you know what I mean? Put us back with all engines running. Right? Like, there's no messing. There's no messing. It's done very, very well. They've thought of us. They've thought of the simmer first and foremost here, which is great to see. So yeah, I think it's an incredible add-on. And if Aerosoft continue, could you imagine if their A330 was at this level? Could you imagine it? Amazing, right? But it is a different aircraft. I think INIBuilds, from their A340s, they're safe in what they've done. They've taken it in their own direction, especially when you have like the Praetor and the VIP variant, which was a free upgrade, and they focused on other areas of the immersion side, more detailed cabin, more things to do, and they're working. Also, they have an exceptionally good sound set with Echo 19. The X-Plane version is €105. Yeah. But again, you're dealing with a different market. You know, there's substantially more users using Microsoft Flight Sim than there is X-Plane. So if you're a developer, well, you have a smaller market, therefore you're going to charge more for your add-ons. That's just where it's at. But anyway, this is the upcoming Aerosoft and ToLiss, the A340-600, which is due to release tomorrow, lads. Yeah, hopefully you're looking forward to that. So, in our last two things, we're going to come over here and have a look at the old Cessna 152. Because there's a new one on the way. And this one, lads, is from Wombii. And what we have here, as we load into it, what we have here is an aircraft, which is default in the sim. But this could be kind of similar to like a, you know, an overhaul version of it, if you like. So in terms of, well, what are we getting here? So, I'll show you. Wombii is known for creating mad ducks, which are very strange, right? And he's done sceneries, and he's done all sorts of cool stuff in the sim. But what he has here is what he calls it, you know, the 152 Ducky Edition. And what we have here is our Cessna 152. When Murphy can find the mouse, you have your Cessna 152, but a substantial number of fixes has been included with the aircraft. A number of fixes and a couple of features thrown in there for good measure as well. So anything from our tie downs, you can see they look a little bit different. There's new liveries here. This is a tricolor livery. I felt very blessed. I was like, oh my god, you made a tricolor livery, but it's that of a duck. Ducky, right? But where's my notes here on this, and I can explain to you what it is. So what we have, this is going to be made available on the marketplace very soon. The price point is it's like $8. It's about $8, right? From Wombii. So what we have, the Ducky Edition is a collection of 25 mildly duck-themed classic liveries, 5 moving glare shield mascots, rubber duck cargo, if you're into it, and a variety of other enhancements and bug fixes for the default 2024 Cessna 152. It makes the classic aircraft shine and behave much closer to the POH. So yeah, you get ducks, but more importantly, you're getting a very, you know, fixed, more accurate version of a Cessna 152. Now it's a complete contrast. We were looking at, you know, a long haul airliner. This goes down to one of the smallest, oldest general aviation trainers. But it's not to take away from it, because I mean, the natural progression in the real world, you would start off training on something like this before you get to the big airliners. So there's a lot of use for this. The 152 is an ideal trainer. The 172, a little bit more kind of weight and power, right? But the 152, these would have been probably the most popular when it came to flight training schools. Your initial flights in an L152, right? Now, there's a couple of things added to this. We can see we got new wheel pants on. The chocks reflect that. Proper chocks. These are kind of some of the fixes that we have when it comes to the wheel fairings. We've also got a new factory option for a gauge lighting cluster, which has been added to the aircraft as well. What else do we have? The Ducky on top of the glare shield has 4 friends. I'll show you the customization options here now in a moment. But we also have animated cabin air flap. Tie downs appear with the chocks. Added ability to toggle the chock tie down covers both on and off. You can open the window. Sun visors fold down. Elevator trim tab deflection, improved the unstable cockpit text, corrected outside air temperature gauge, fixed the ambient lights, fixed the inconsistent ADF display, transponder knob animation is fixed, fixed the LOD, compass has been updated, CDI2, course knob animation has been fixed, ADF audio button now works, and behaviour of the OMI marker, outer, middle, inner, are all working, and the aircraft itself has just received fixes. So, let's jump in and show you what it's all about. Remove our before flight. Welcome to the cockpit. And the first thing you'll notice, where we have access to the native EFB now mounted, but we can turn that off if we don't want it blocking our vision, right? 777, good to see you. Hope you're well. Can you say hi to Jess and Verity, the amazing carers this evening? Well, hello, Jess and Verity. A very good evening. Hope you're taking good care of 777 Emu fan. But Jess, so yes, there are ducks. You'll probably notice that straight away. And these are physics based as well. You're rattling and rolling, you're moving. These wobbly head thing moves around, and you can change the layout of your duck. You can even have a cat, right? And if you wanted to, you can load the aircraft up with a whole load of cargo, and that'll put a whole load of cargo ducks. And you're probably sitting there going, right. But this is only part of the story. Yeah, load that now. And we should have ducks all over the shop. Look. Brilliant. We're on a mission of bringing rubber ducks to people like you who didn't know you needed them. The main things here is we're looking at general fixes for the aircraft, which actually make the aircraft more flyable, more suitable. So go ahead, battery alternator can come on. Get some sounds going up here. Takeoff trim is set. Fuel valve is open. Mixture rich. Open a throttle. And what else? There's other things Wombii is thinking of adding in. You know, he's hazarding a guess. He's going to try and get these circuit breakers working. So you might say, right, Murph, what sort of an add-on is this? Yes, there's the fun element of, you know, the ducks. Nicolas Cage. Duck, but this kind of gives you the vibes of kind of like that WB sim kinda. Now it's not aimed to be that, but it kind of gives you the vibes. This is Wombii looking at an aircraft to say, well, it's broken, I'm going to fix it, and that's what he's going to achieve here. It's going to be available in the marketplace soon. Nav and beacon can come on. Primer, and we'll go ahead and give this a start. We can open the window. And we'll go clear prop. And let's start. Alright. Now there's no sound difference with the window open or closed yet. Maybe that's something you could look at, right? But what we do have then is a number of different lights. So if we were to go to nighttime mode, we now have interior lights on the glare shield. And, well, on the main panel. Which is a very nice addition because the instrument lighting cluster now has lights. Before, we didn't have this. We just had the big red light flashing onto all our instruments. You know what I mean? So this is a nice addition for sure. Fair play, because it, as I said, it just makes the aircraft more usable. Do you know? So let's have a quick look around here. So cabin air, that's all fine. ADF, that's all fine. This guy is going to jump around the parish. I like the cat. We'll call him Cat. So let me see. Quick look down here. And in terms of flying, overall, it's just tweaked. Tweaked to be better, you know. If you don't like the duck, you're rather stuck. Well, you can go with the cat. But see the movement of the devil? You know, let's horse this way. Right? You know. Now, we'll Harrison Ford it here. Because the main things I want to show you is the aircraft just behaves better. Just better. With those fixes made to the systems, your navigation is now better. You can operate this thing at night time if you wish, right? Overall, it just makes the plane better. I can say with certainty I have not flown the 152 in 2024 much, because I wasn't mad about it. It just felt, it's very kind of, it was a very hollow airplane. This from Wombii fixes a lot of that. Like, it just fixes a lot of it. And in terms then of having an aircraft that you can actually go off and do a bit of training, and because it's a smaller airplane, things like circuits and, you know, your traffic pattern stuff, even a small bit of, you know, NDB navigation, perfect, absolutely perfect. And you have all the physics. I don't know, do these lads move around, do they? No. There was a variant of the 152 that came out before. It was the Aerobat. You ever heard the Aerobat? And that thing could go absolutely nuts altogether, right? So the 152, the Ducky Edition, it's coming soon. It might be available on Thursday with the marketplace update. The price is aimed at around $8. It is giving you a lot of fixes to the 152 and features, right? And of course you get the madness that is Wombii with all the ducks stuff. Ducks make everything better. I agree. Or, you know, if it's a cat. I mean, challenge mode, you know. Can we fly the aircraft looking at just the cat? I mean, straight away the devil knows more than we do. I mean, where will your adventure take you? With cats or ducks, right? But it's great to see. And yeah, making fixes, little kind of creature comforts there, putting the tablet, and you can like enable, disable, right? The bouncing around is about to make you sick, says Scott. Don't look at it. Look out the window. You'd be grand, right? But so there we have it. That is the upcoming. Jesus Murphy. That is the upcoming 152 Ducky Edition. And it comes with some nice liveries as well. There's a lot of nice liveries. This one's the tricolour. Come on, Ireland! But there's a duck, you know. But the 152, I mean, it's we kind of overlooked this plane an awful lot, and mainly because, well, it wasn't great. It's now a lot better. A lot better. So fair play to Wombii for doing that. And I think this is going to be an essential one. You know, if you like flying general aviation, this puts the 152 into a category that you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to fly that tonight because it now works. Do you know? So yeah, great stuff there from Wombii, and it's fantastic to see. Now, friends, for our last bit of stuff tonight, I think I've covered everything. I hope I've covered everything. Right, we're going to go in here now, Bijani, and I want to look at activities. This is OnAir, and we did some of this last week. We did our own adventure, our very first tour with OnAir last week. And just to show you what we can do here, I want to show you how you can create your own tour, right? So we did our high peaks and canyons. That was the Comanche last week. But if we want to go off and create our own, well, there's a link inside of OnAir, right? That'll take us to a website, and this is going to say, hey, this is how you can create your own tour. So there's a full step-by-step guide, creating your own tour. How do you do it? get started, the properties that you want, and all the jazz is there. Badges, icons, and also all the different jobs you can add to it, right? Absolutely brilliant. So to get us started, we'll have a look here. A new feature being extended as an open beta for the next few weeks. So they're still working on this. If you want to create your own tool, ramble on over to the companion OnAir website. So when we come on in here, we'll log in. And from here, we can go in and create a new tour. All right. So we'll click on create a new tour. And what we can do in here, it's all very much work in progress, but the idea, it's a great way to share different flights. Like we'll go in and have a look at the, at some of the pre-made ones already. But what we have our properties. So we can put in the title, what's the name of the tour, who made it, what's the area. So is it anywhere in the world? Is it only in North America? Is it in Europe? Get the idea. Then we'll have our start date, the end date, if you want it to be an event or if it's going to be repeatable. You can also restrict it for your own virtual airline if you wish. So that's something that we do with Firefly Air. And we can put in some more information here when it comes to our minimum empty weight, maximum empty weight. That's going to dictate on the type of aircraft you can bring out, right? If there's any tags that you need, uploading your thumbnails, right? You can give an overall color to the tour, right? So thumbnail, an icon and a badge. You unlock them, they get added to your profile, right? Vazali, yeah, we will be checking it out soon, bud. Murph, I think the issue I had with your flight was there was only the payload intended for the final destination. When I finished the first leg, it was no longer available to take forward. Ah, okay. Yeah, I probably missed a step. This is where you put in your main trip. So let's say, for example, we want to do a flight from Shannon and we're going to go to, I don't know, Sligo. If we click on validate, it's going to say main trip is done. So Shannon up to Sligo. We'd put in our cargo, our description of the cargo, number of passengers, description of passengers. Then we can put in a full description here. Now, what's pretty cool about this, if you kind of struggle with ideas and, you know, thumbnails and, you know, if you struggle, well, this is where AI can actually help you out. This is actually a good use for AI because you can go on to Gemini or ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to fly from, you know, this point to that point using that aircraft. Here's my waypoints. Can you make me a thumbnail that's 612 by 454 pixels? Poof. Off it goes. It'll do it for you. It can help. Then you can say, right, I want to bring cargo, or we're bringing 2 passengers, and you can kind of, you know, you can tell the AI, you know, give us a base story. You know, they emigrated to the States. They're back in Ireland for a weekend, and they want to go up and visit, you know, their farm. Expand on this story, something like that. AI will come along and say, sure, listen, Johnny and Mary, sure, they've been away for 20 years. And poor old Johnny hasn't been the same since his hair fell out and turned grey. As for Mary, it's younger looking she's getting because she's in yoga every day. They got their flight aboard Aer Lingus and they landed into Shannon, and now they want to go sightseeing in a Cessna 152 that only has 1 seat for a passenger. But you'll have to do 2 flights. Take John first. Right. But you get the idea, right? They tell you what you're doing, where you're doing it, what time you're doing it at, and that's if you're doing anything at all, right? But you get the idea, right? That's where it's for fun. You put in the description. You can make this more than fun. If you don't want fun, you can say, well, hang on a second. I'm going to create, maybe it's a maritime patrol mission. Yeah, we're going to do maritime patrol. We're going to do, maybe not search and rescue, but you can assign jobs to this, right? So there are all your requirements. You can then save. Then you can put in the jobs for this, create a sightseeing job, a rescue mission, or a transport job. So if you wanted to, you could build a full rescue mission into this. And OnAir does a great job. It'll inject objects. It'll put in boats, or it'll put in a vehicle. It'll do all that stuff for you. Or it could be transport jobs. So you can say, right, well, what is it? The title, the airports, number of passengers. What if it's search and rescue? So new job, create a rescue mission, the departure, and then you can say, well, our departure is going to be Shannon, right? Create a rescue location. And it's going to give you a lat long and the number of passengers in which you need to rescue. There's a couple of ways in which you can do this, right? You can go in and have a look at the map, and you can look at your POI, or see the way that it automatically populates this, or we can clear that, cancel, delete. Do I delete that? No, that deletes a whole lot. But you get the idea. You can click on the map and say, well, look, these are my different POIs. So you can actually start creating your own, and you can give a backstory into this, which is pretty cool, right? And, you know, you can tell the map, hey, show me airports in the area, or, excuse me, I had to sneeze, gesundheit. You can set up a number of different jobs. You can even set it up to say, well, right, we're going to fly from Shannon, we're going to do a rescue. That's our first POI. Then we need to drop them off at Sligo General Hospital, and then when we're finished in Sligo, we're going to go on up to Donegal to fuel. You can build that into your own, and once you have it all saved, you can publish it, and it's available for anyone else then in the community, right? So if we go back into OnAir, these are all the different activities that are available, and you can go down and you can search by community ones. You can search for the official OnAir ones. You can look at the areas where you want to fly, or is there any particular tags? Maybe you just want to fly something with an A320. Here's one, long A320 European route. Here's a full flight or tour or activity, as they're called, already set up, and you can see all the different flights, and you can see all the different legs, loads of them. And look what they're paying out. They're paying out huge money. Do you know what I mean? So that's how you do it. And in terms of then, you know, if you wanted to look at, you know, the different screens and badges, that was our one. As I said, that's the one that we did. Here's the description of it. We can see over here, you can rate it. So you can now base these flights on higher or low. I can delete it. I have the option to delete it because I created it. And we can see then that we can unlock a badge. And then when you go into your activity screen, you can see what you've unlocked. It's similar to what we've used before with our virtual airline, but there are a ton of these. There's loads of different activities. You know, the one we did the last time was the Jurassic Park one. You know what I mean? So it just gives us the options now. We can create our own, but not only that. OnAir have made a change. They've edited their system. Instead of you having, because this is the way it used to work. If you wanted to fly, say, here's one here out of Rome, we would have to position our aircraft or rent an aircraft in Rome in order to fly this. Now we can just start this and load up in Rome. It'll give us a rental aircraft. We can still position our own aircraft if we want. We can fly our own aircraft, because with OnAir, you can own your own aircraft. You can rent them. You can hire them out. But then you have things like maintenance, landing fees, fuel. You have to manage all of these things. It's huge. The depth of this is huge, right? But you get the idea. So I wanted to just show you, you know, if you're using OnAir, if you're not, they give a free trial. Well worth it, lads. Just check it out. Some of the things you can do, right? I haven't even scratched the surface. This is like activities. Then you get into your own company. You know, you can be a virtual airline. You can work for an airline. You can hire AI crew, depending on the world you join, as in, it's like difficulty levels. You can hire real pilots. Hey, come on, come fly with us. And they go off and do all the flying. You're responsible then for like the maintenance, the wear and tear, landing fees, FBO costs, buying fuel. You can buy fuel depots and sell fuel. And then you get into things like, you know, you need cabin crew training, you need ground school training, you need mechanics, all of this sort of stuff. And then you get into like the industry side of it, which is massive. It's almost like an industry tycoon. You can build industry. You can say, right, you know, here's this resource. We're going to build a factory here. We got to fly the stuff over to build the factory. Once the factory is built, we now need to fly it from manufacturing to a storage facility, and then we need to fly it from the storage facility out to market. It's unbelievable. Malky says, for example, I had to put 3 planes in for a service today. Like, this could be massive. It could be massive. You know, it's a pity some pictures are AI generated. Yeah, like, look at for this kind of stuff. I mean, you know, you're not going to worry. They're free. You know, they're just activities, right? Yeah, you'd always be fair. You know, some sort of realism there, but you know, it's user preference. I wouldn't let the AI image kind of take you away from what the flights actually have. And if you're not sure about it, you can just go in and look at them. Other thumbnails are really good. I mean, some of them are using real world photographs, right? Some are using AI, some are using the sim, right? You know, Luke Combs World Tour, right? You know, they're following the Godfather there, like that. There's some cool stuff there. And there's loads of them. There's absolutely loads of them. And you can add more in. Like there's one, Royal Air Force Flight Ops. I mean, look at that, right? So you get the idea. And you can make all these stuff up yourself. So what I'd recommend, if you're interested with OnAir, it is a full career solution. from flight logging, career mode, pilot progression, company running, business side, virtual airline stuff. It's all there. Get yourself a free trial. There's no commitment to buy it. Just try it. See what you think. There's plenty of tutorials. We stream this usually once a week, sometimes more. And just go in and have a look. We have an FBO set up now at this River Bend ranch. We built that in the sim. It actually appeared in the sim. Our buildings appeared. We can move certain things around, and it's our own custom scenery built in there. The services, we have fuel for sale because we put in a fuel tank, and we have a workshop. So we can manage our workshop. What's available? Can we build a hangar? Our workshop agreements. Well, can we have a maintenance facility there? And then other people flying in the world can say, hey, I'm now flying up this neck of the woods. What's the nearest airport to me? And is there an FBO on site? They'll say, yes, there is an FBO. That's Murph's FBO. I need to go in there and get some maintenance. Murph, what are you charging me? And I could be just like extortionate. And then they'll say, I'm not paying those prices. And I'd be like, why don't you fly to the next airport? That's right. There is none. Right. So you can kind of dominate the economy. Or if you're in a very built up area, you're going to undercut the competition because you're going to go cheaper trying to get the business. It's cool, lads. It's next level stuff. Check it out. There is a free trial to it. So yeah, definitely worth it. But that concludes tonight's Flight Sim News. I want to thank you all so very much indeed for popping in. We covered a bit of ground, specifically with the BlackSquare Caravan Professional preview. That's due to come out on March 17th, which is just next Tuesday. Then we had the A340-600 aircraft from ToLiss and Aerosoft. Absolutely incredible. We had the Ducky, the 152 Ducky Edition from Wombii, due to release, I think, tomorrow. Very much hoping that goes well for Wombii. We checked out Mount McKinnon Airport from Orbx. That was fantastic as well. And we covered our on-air stuff. Next week, we'll have more of the same. There'll be more aircraft, more sceneries, more stuff to have an old gawk at. But I want to thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in. All the raids we got this evening, lads, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. If you're still here, you're an absolute legend, and you are very strong-willed to be able to put up with a muppet like me. So thank you very much. And the support tonight was absolutely friggin' nuts. So thank you all so very much. I shall see you all tomorrow. We're back streaming in the morning. This is going to be hilarious. Tomorrow morning, we are looking at the A320, learning how to fly the thing. And I'm focusing very much on the wind control hardware. And I'm going to be setting up multiple takeoff and landing. Then we'll do our briefing for our VATSIM flight. Tomorrow night, we're going to be flying out of Salt Lake City, heading over to Portland. And then on Friday night, we have a DC-6 Alaskan run for a group flight. So, yeah, left-handed, yeah, idle cutoff, that's the one, yeah. It's all to see tomorrow. So 1100 Zulu tomorrow morning, which is 12 hours time. I'll be there and breaking things and acting them up it as only I know how. So thank you all so very much indeed for tuning in, and until tomorrow, you take care. Fans, is Mike Roch in the chat? Mike Roch? That's brilliant! Hey everybody! Is there a Mike Roch here? Is Mike Roch here? Time to turn. And we'll start advancing that mixture back in here now shortly. Come on, prop.
Sink rate.
You're alright.
Sink rate.
Yeah.
Up. Sink rate.
Give us a bit of air in the nose there. Nearly. Come on, Betsy, you can do it. We need the wind. Oh, bother. We need more speed. This isn't dangerous at all. 110, 120. Mixture in. The mixture's in. Come on. She doesn't want to play. She nearly got there. Hang on now. Easy. There she goes. Jesus. If it didn't kick off, lads, I would have died immediately. Hands. Is Mike Roch in the chat? Mike Roch? That's brilliant. Hey everybody, is there a my crotch here? Is my crotch here?